Hello and welcome back to another History of Overwatch. We're back again. We've made the executive decision as a stream that we're not going to watch any more of the playoffs of 2019. There was obviously a banger of a match between the Vancouver Titans and the New York Excelsior, but it just... no one really wants to watch Reaper Doom or May Doom and playing that like double shield rush stuff. I went and checked the VOD. It is still all of that. They have the Bastion comp still happening. So if you want to go check out that match, it was a banger, but it wasn't a very interesting meta as much as it would have been great to see those two teams play off. So we're just going to keep moving on because we're running out of time until the 2022 season starts. So we're going on to season of 2020, and we need to preface this next couple of episodes properly. If you have not seen the season of 2020, the most important thing to realize is that this is voted by almost across the entire board of every Overwatch League fan who's seen every season as the worst season of Overwatch League. And this is primarily due to the fact that this is the beginning of COVID. We went from a whole season planned around traveling to homestands, having all these big events, to then just struggling and scrambling to get it running online. So obviously a lot of teething problems with that. There was a ton of technical issues with doing this, a lot of team issues. This is the season where the Vancouver Titans imploded. We have hero pools, which were integrated after the first month of games, just because how stagnant the game was in terms of like patching and all that kind of stuff. But then it wasn't implemented very well, so it wasn't very good. So it wasn't a very good season. And we'll talk about more of this stuff as we look at the VODs. But the match we're going to be watching for the beginning of 2020 is the Toilet Bowl. For those of you who aren't aware, I'm sort of showing standings of the season. For those of you who aren't aware, for the Toilet Bowl this is the Boston Uprising versus the Houston Outlaws. And if you haven't seen this match, it's a banger for all the wrong reasons. I do want to highlight, and because we all like to point and make fun at these two teams and the players, and we are going to do a lot of that in this match, please be respectful of the players. Like, they are all incredible players. They are some good things. Both were having a pretty brutal season. They definitely weren't up to their scratch in this match. But just be cool. You don't need to be rude to anyone. There's a ton of storylines that led to why this was such an unfortunately bad match. But I don't believe there's hero pools in this match. There's a bunch of interesting things that are happening. Like, we're going to see Blase McCree. We're going to see all those kind of things. So let's do it. I think we just start watching it. The thing about this match is it's a best of 5 that goes to 7 maps. So there's 2 draws in this one. For all the reasons that it is. Let's actually watch a bunch of this as well, because we got homestands here. So this is in the first, so this is in Washington, D.C., a homestand in the Washington, D.C. And an interesting thing about homestands is that they only ran for about a month in this year before COVID really took over, and all of a sudden all the homestands got cancelled and the region split into 2. It was awesome, right? Like, these homestands were so cool. Everyone was hyped for it. It was cool to see these events coming to fruition. But yeah, it really did not live up to that hype. One of the big things that I think is worth talking about when you're discussing homestands is that I genuinely do not believe that the homestand model would have worked. And I think COVID, I think COVID actually might have been a band-aid solution to the problem that was going to happen to the homestands. The biggest problem with homestands was that, like, already teams and players were complaining, oh my god, were complaining about not really going to be able to get enough practice. A bunch of teams got sick. Like, you guys remember the Houston Outlaws and the Washington Justice got, like, stupid sick in the first couple of weeks of traveling? And it was just getting set around. And it wasn't COVID. This is before COVID. It was just, like, a massive flu bug that went around. Players were already complaining about travel, all that kind of stuff. So I think the homestand model wouldn't have worked, but it definitely didn't work in a COVID world. We got the good old booing happening here. I don't know who's getting booed at this point. Neither teams are Washington, D.C.
to New York.
Nebster, thank you for the Prime Gaming sub. I don't know if the team was sick here. Because I know a couple of teams were sick and competing.
Slightly as well. We saw on the Watchpoint pre-show just then, or at least the pre-show to this.
Or call it COVID. It wasn't COVID. I can confirm as someone who had it. I actually think I remember getting COVID tested, and it wasn't. So Bren and Josh, yeah, they will be remembered. But yeah, so let's start getting into the match a little bit and sort of jumping forward. So let's look at these teams. So this match is actually the rise of Jerry as well. Jerry, who was on the Washington Justice, I believe is completely unsigned at this point. This was like the beginning of the Jerry hype, because like Jerry didn't really have a lot of expectations coming into the Boston Uprising, but he plays really well in this match, which is jumping over an incredibly low bar. But Jerry became like a heavy fan favorite in the beginning of 2020. It was really funny. They got Color Hex as the other DPS. I believe this is Axiom. Is that Axiom? There's a couple of players that you wouldn't recognize. So here we go. We just looked at it. So funnily enough, Myumbling is the only player that is currently still on this team. Jerry, Color Hex, Axiom was on this team. Hey, this is when Boston gets memed as the team to be like the bottom. This is really when they got memed the most, because they were just like, they did not try heading into the 2020 season to put in like the best players possible. Swimmer, I love you, but they just promoted like all of their Boston Academy team, and Boston Academy wasn't good. So they just promoted a bunch of their players, and it's just, this team just was never going to be successful. Going into this season, I think everyone had them at a hard 20th. The Houston Outlaws were like kind of like hold my beer a little bit when they were at this point. Myumbling is on the NYXL at this point. Yeah, I said Myumbling was the only person still in the... Did I say on the team? I meant in the league. But yeah, all these players have come and gone, unfortunately. But this team just, yeah, it wasn't great. So let's have a look at the Houston roster, because as Liz just said in chat, this is probably the worst Houston ever was in terms of a roster. I think they had massive holes throughout it. I think, you know, as I said, I want to remind everyone that you should be respectful because these players are really good, but there's a lot of reasons why this roster was bad. At this point, Muma was very heavily on his way out as a player. This is like, kind of like raucous Muma, less so blasé, kind of blasé. All of these players were kind of at the end of their careers. Like, Houston signed a lot of players that were really going towards the end of their careers and could have easily retired the year before. And they sort of signed them and just sort of like threw them in. And this is sort of what led to the internal like explosion of the Houston Outlaws. Muma ends up getting perma-benched, I think after the first couple of weeks, and Hydration goes over to main tank. Blase is currently on this team. Oh yeah, that is a good point. Houston is being sold at this point. That is an interesting point to note. The Houston Outlaws original owners no longer had them, and they were attempting to be sold. They were currently owned by IMT because IMT bought all of the Optic brand. Optic owned the Houston Outlaws. IMT bought the Optic brand, which included the Houston Outlaws. So the IMT, who owned the Los Angeles Valiant, also owned the Valiant and the Houston Outlaws, and it was trying to be sold at this time because you can obviously not own two Overwatch League teams, and there's a lot of issues with owning two Overwatch League teams for obvious reasons. Let me get back to this roster though. Blase was coming in he actually just came from the Boston Uprising. He is a flex DPS player who was forced to play off-tank for Boston, who was then moved to the Houston Outlaws and was forced to play hit scan. At this point, Linksa is on the Houston Outlaws, but there is drama that Linksa doesn't want to play, or he doesn't have the confidence in himself to play hit scan. So Blase is being forced in to play the hit scan in this situation, and it ain't great. Like, he is a flex DPS player who was a hard flex DPS player, and it really isn't great. So that's a problem. Dante's a very solid player. Meko was getting signed from the NYXL and just never fit in this team. Like, never fit in this team. I don't know what happened to Meko. Maybe he struggled with the transition to a fully Western team, but he was a great player in the past. Did not show on the Houston Outlaws at all. Jexay, I actually think Jexay and Rappel are the two shining lights of the Houston Outlaws, and Dante are the two shining lights of the Outlaws in this upcoming season. They actually do a pretty good job, and then obviously went on to have great success on the Dallas Fuel. An interesting point that we're going to see as another precursor to this match that none of us are able to solve, because this is not just like player issues, there is heavy management and coaching issues on top of this as well. Raucus and Rappel, I think they change who their flex support is every single map. I genuinely believe, if I remember correctly, every single map, Raucus comes out, Rappel comes in. They don't play different heroes. They don't do anything different. They just, one comes in, one comes out. And there's musical chairs across the entire match of this. And it, like, I've talked about it time and time again in this History of Overwatch series. Consistently switching your players is really bad. Team synergy, players being warmed up, players being focused, so many different things are like really get into your mindset. And that is what compounds this Houston Outlaws to be as bad as what this Boston Uprising team is. This is by far the worst the Outlaws ever was. This is by far the worst the Boston ever were. And that is why this game was actually coming into it was called El Clasico. It later got dubbed the Toilet Bowl. Generally, when we have a bad match, we say El Clasico now because it is disrespectful to call it the Toilet Bowl. Any of the two worst games, kind of like the London Spitfire, Vancouver Titans of 2021, that would have been coined the Toilet Bowl, but obviously it sounds really bad. So it generally gets called El Clasico. But this is like the original Toilet Bowl, and if you ask any fan, you say which match is the Toilet Bowl, this would be the one. So let's just get into it, and we can start watching this match. That's like all the information you need to know going into it. So it gives you a little bit of understanding of how did we get here? You know, like how did we end up in this like tragic moment where you have a couple of great players and great teams really have their massive fall from grace and, you know, fighting to be not the worst team in the league.
This is and impose his will upon a Boston Uprising that let go of in this offseason. I think it's such a great...
Is this one of the most infamous games of 2020? This is the most infamous game, I would say, of the entire Overwatch League time. Can you guys think of a match that was worse than this match? Like the first one that springs to mind is like London, Washington in 2019. But I don't think that was as bad as this. It's the fact that it's not even a bad... Okay, and let me incentivize as well. This isn't the worst gameplay we've ever seen. I think the thing that makes this such a meme-worthy match is that it goes to 7 maps in a best of 5, right? Like, this is like both teams dropping the spaghetti to the point that neither of them can cross the finish line. It's such a long match, and there's so many draws that it's just so long, like unreasonably long, this match. For the quality of play. So let's just get into it. Checkmate Tank was a meme. Yeah, but even that wasn't like the worst game. They just like lost, right? Like it was funny, but they just lost. Neither team really wins here.
The one that everybody's been waiting for, El Clasico.
Is this the only tier 1 game? I think I don't know if there's ever been a game that had 2 other draws, especially not one that went to like the maximum number of maps. This is the Toilet Bowl. Alright, so I actually don't remember what the meta exactly was. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but was Brawl... Because hero pools come in week 5, like early March. The season started in February. Early March is when hero pools were introduced. I think this is what, like, there was a heavy lack of diversity. I think it was a lot of Ryan, Lucio, May Brawl. And because of that and how boring it was to watch... I think that is why the league stepped in and was like, we need to implement hero pools. We need there to be some diversity in the game because the game was just boring to watch in a certain situations. And it's kind of like GOATS where when you had this Ryan May brawl, when a team was worse, it looked really bad.
The change to put Blase on the Reaper.
Raucus also opting to play the Moira in itself. Now Jerry's going to be making the switch over to the Widowmaker, take advantage of those long sight angles. You can see the rotations being made by both these teams already. Just trying to take opposite positions.
Houston Outlaws have to
The hero pools were announced from the start of the season. I'm pretty sure, were they? Okay. I can't 100% remember how hero pools were a thing. I remember they were existed before COVID came in, because I remember drawing them in the studio, but
Trying to scout them out a little bit here, but now forced to contest. The point is
in map 5 you can hear Brentro just shift into meme mode. I think everyone at first was just like, oh, this match isn't very interesting, and then it just got progressively crazy. Oh, come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. You can do it. Hey, you got Dante. I'm still sad this killed Meko's career. The sad reality is you got to be really careful about going like, you know, it's like any player who, you know, wanted to sign with like Valiant last year or like these really low teams. You got to be careful about joining a team that's in stupidly bad, and obviously we didn't expect Houston to be that, but because it can just like, if you look bad in that team, people just won't sign you again.
Be a big win condition for them, 100%. He's going to wait to see if he can hit the go button. Now here we go. The ice wall gets brought down now by the Houston Outlaws, but you see the counteract there by Boston Uprising. Great ice wall to try and fend off a lot of the aggression. Boston gonna disengage back, and now it's go time. They're going to see if they can try and get a pick off or two. Running into them.
Neither team wants to go at all because of the May. Yo, Flaxes, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Dude, go. You have Nano. Why is Axiom holding his shield? Maybe he's gonna get frozen? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why Axiom got nanoed and just held the shield. They needed to like Lucio speed boost in. I don't really know what that was. He just like got nanoed and just like...
Take away that team fight. Beautifully done so far. Not conceding anything to the Boston Uprising.
That's got to be a confidence booster as well for Houston.
Why is Boston playing Ana as well? That seems very questionable. I think Moira is just generally considered better in this meta.
They can't have been in a good place. They needed this fast, aggressive start.
Myeonbong, yeah, maybe it was because Myeonbong likes Ana. And like Myeonbong does get a lot of great nades and does a lot of things, but I feel like it's gonna be hard for the like. Look at how Boston just have no confidence, and like. I've talked about this before. Actually, we can just let it play. But I've talked about this before. It feels like both of these teams were playing to not lose, right? And when your team is wow, nice shadows and bombs. When your team is in a situation where you're playing to not lose instead of to win the game, you've essentially already lost the match. And that's why this match, like, both teams are playing so desperate that none of them want to make a mistake. None of them want to make a play. Everyone just wants it to be over in a way. And I think both teams were at like the peak of that, where everyone's just scared to do anything. And then, like, you can see it from the play already. Neither team is really like going hard. Like, you watch Dallas play Brawl or Dallas play these kind of comps, they just fucking go. They have no doubt in their mind that they're gonna win this fight or that they're gonna win the duels and stuff like that. Same with Atlanta, right? That confidence is such an important thing.
One half of their team's on one side, the other on caught out of position. The ice wall now going to be used by Custa to try and at least peel for them a little bit, take up a bit of this damage. But now Nanabus comes out onto Axiom. Huge fire strike, lays it into him, not 8 up. And Houston Outlaws.
This time the Valiant were farming on Widow, Ana, Ryan, Lucio, so I think a lot of teams are trying to play it too. Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't exactly remember the meta perfectly from back here. I remember Valiant were the team that everyone thought was just going to be wet trash, and they ended up being really good with like a very low budget. But obviously, like, you need to give credit to the scouting of these teams, like Packing and all that kind of stuff. They signed Kai. They were the first people to sign Kai, and like a bunch of players. Like McGravy was a great player. They did a great job with Gig, Dreamer, right? Like Lastro, yeah, right. Apply, yeah. Like Shax, but Shax has been on the team since 2018. Like, that's not really the scouting. Same with KSF. Like, none of those players were scouted really for that team.
Not really opting to take any fights just yet. And now we start to see the ultimates coming online.
Yeah, like you can see like the Houston Outlaws are just really struggling to close this distance and like do anything, right? Oh, that was a bad shut up by Axiom. Jerry gets Raucus though. McGravy McGravy was on Valiant. McGravy was on Valiant in 2019. Then got traded to Mayhem in the back half. Oh no, he started on Mayhem, got traded to Valiant on the back half. He got hard screwed by the Florida Mayhem on that team. Got traded to the Valiant in the back half, but then never played over space. And then McGravy finally got a starting position for the Valiant in 2020. And like, McGravy is one of those players who you gotta like feel bad for in a way. Is like, it always felt like he just got hard screwed. In 2019, he got hard screwed by both teams in a way because he just never got to play. 2020, he had a good career. And then going into 20, I think he was gonna be the off tank for 2021 before they got dropped. Or maybe it was him and Adam. But then, yeah, he just never got another shot. He just never really got another shot. And you got to feel bad for, like, players like that. It's the, like, unfortunate reality of the role. Like, I think off-tank is just such a stacked role, especially in the Western scene. I think he retired before, yeah. I think he retired before, but that's because Valiant weren't going to sign him again or something like that. But, yeah.
Whoever's going to try and stall this one out, tick the overtime over a little bit. But
I said he's coaching. Yeah, you know, he's done a good job of, like, putting that together. Yeah, Houston just unable to get back to the point. Adam hasn't been good in the league yet. Well, wait, what do you mean? Adam hasn't played a match yet, or even been in the situation where he can get to play a match. Not wrong though. Technically not wrong, but you can't really say he hasn't been good when he hasn't played. Isn't Axiom a model now? That is news to me. If Axiom is a model, can anyone confirm is Axiom a model?
See them opting for mirror compositions across the board.
Oh look, sponsors. I wonder what that feels like.
We've seen so often. And Jerry so far has been playing.
Yeah, he's a model.
He has. He's found decent sightlines.
Also, we're not going to talk about Mufin. Obviously, there's some drama related to him. If you want to work it out or find out, you can just Google it yourself. But I don't really want to talk about it. Let's just focus on the game for this one.
When we get slept up early here. See, both teams don't want to sacrifice the high ground just yet. Just taking pot shots, the spam. Waiting for that point to unlock. Seeing if they can get enough spam damage to get an early pick, which will set them off right.
Or just collect damage on their tanks.
Machine Gun Cassidy. That's actually something that was worth talking about as well. One of the reasons Cassidy was so heavily played at the beginning of the season is this is when they reduced his fire rate to like stupidly low. Stupidly high. He could fire super fast. And that's why everyone was playing. His raw damage output was just better than any other character. Do you think Jerry was an actual good DPS? I think Jerry was a fine hit scan. A perfectly fine. I don't think he was in the top half of best hit scans in the league. I think he was fine, and like I think having him on your team was fine, but he was not a championship caliber hit scan player, right? He couldn't compete with Arns, he couldn't compete with, you know, the best ones that we have in the league, but he was fine for a team like Boston. Oh, Mega's alive. Swimmer diff?
Boston have slowly taken this fight away. They had a superior heel angle. That early damage onto Raucus really was the winning moment there.
He was really good on Justice when he played. No, he wasn't. I don't think that's true at all. I thought he was incredibly average, and that's why everyone was like... the problem with what was happening with Jerry is Jerry was benching Decay on hit scan, which is just wrong. I understand that you're like, Jerry's our hit scan guy. Don't bench Decay. And that's the problem with like that, and that's the nice play. And that sort of goes to the point of what I was saying of like he was like it wasn't a hit scan meta, it wasn't a hit scan season, so that I don't agree with that, Shadow. It wasn't a hit scan meta, it wasn't a hit scan season, so like take that with a grain of salt. But when Jerry played it, he was once again just fine. Do I remember correctly? Decay didn't want to play hit scan, yeah, but like I don't know.
Take up as much time as they possibly can, keep this stalling out, but this fight has been lost. Houston Outlaws with 6 ults are going to be able to retake.
Yeah, this is a great position right now for Houston Outlaws. Raucus can start to get in a nice line of sight position.
I think it was this fight that we, as we the audience started to realize we were watching greatness. Like just from like off the bat, obviously like I'm not going to talk too much about all the specifics of the thing, but you can just see how disconnected everything is, right? This is not how Brawl is supposed to be played. People are all over the place. People are throwing ults left and right. People are not utilizing getting the value out of the ultimates. Like Meko just got nanoed, and then we're gonna get like a random beat from Jexay, and then like Color Hex used a mail apparently at some point there. Like it's just a mess, right? Like there is no rhyme or reason to a lot of what's happening so far, right? Like what? Like Dante's just on the right for no reason, and he just gets isolated. And then like Muma tries to go down the left side instead of protecting Dante. Dante dies. Then Axiom somehow dies to a high noon. Muma misses the pin on the pin timing on the Mei, and then Blasi just dies for free. Like that, Houston had everything to win that, but they just like dropped the spaghetti. Like it looks like, okay, I'm not gonna say it looks like a plat game. It doesn't look like a plat game. It looks like a ranked game, right? Where the teammates aren't communicating, they're not in voice together. People are just doing whatever the fuck they want. You have that May 1 trick who left voice when someone's like, hey man, can you play like Reaper? And this is really where Myeonbong got, like, Myeonbong's another person who really came out of the Boston shit show pretty well, and a lot of people hold Myeonbong at a pretty high standard, mainly because of his Ana play in these situations. Yeah, like, why did they just speed to flank the Cassidy?
With the superior health point advantage. Now Muma lays down a shatter.
Great work from Color Hex dodging it.
Yeah, dodges it with the ice block, and that is fantastic. And now, Houston, they have to get something done. Myeonbong going down is a great start.
Where is everyone?
They need a couple of more picks. Do or die now for map 1, and it seems like Boston are coming out on top. Muma.
Why is drop the spaghetti a thing? I don't know. It's just a thing on the.
No one is able to touch this one. Dante with the ice block.
No one is able to touch this one. Dante touches. Bren, fuck. Who was the Outlaws coach at this time? Who was the Outlaws coach? Oh my god. Who was the Outlaws coach? I want to say Harsha. I want to say Flame was GM and Harsha was coach. Let's confirm this before we... Oh, stop. Yeah, all right. Yo, Dream. Fuck, I forgot about Dream. Oh, shit. I forgot about Dream. Be nice to Dream and Hureg. Okay, okay. So, Hureg, I don't remember ever really having, like, ever hearing anything about what Hureg did with the coaching. Harsha is coming from the Vancouver Titans. He was on them with the 2019 when they had a ton of success. I don't know what Harsha's impact was on that thing, but he ended up becoming head coach of the Houston Outlaws. Dream... How do you define who Dream was? So Dream had his debut coaching the Overwatch League for the Houston Outlaws in this season. And I'm gonna put him around the place of Jane. Okay? Like, think of Jane, if you know Jane, and like, he had that confidence and he just tweeted whatever he wanted. And like, he would be in scrims and he would just go on a limb and just say shit on the internet. And people would be like, what are you doing? Or he would like flame someone random, all that kind of stuff. And he just like, he had this massive air of confidence around him. And he dialed it back after he got like a ton of backlash and memed a lot for like some of this stuff. I think he was just misunderstood, but he was a heavy meme because obviously he came in with a lot of confidence of like, where the Houston Outlaws were great. He came out a lot of Twitter, and then Houston Outlaws just fucking was a dumpster fire. So he sort of took that, he took a lot of that weight as well. So yeah, it was interesting. But yeah. So that was the coaching staff of the Houston Outlaws. The Houston Outlaws coaching staff heavily dropped the spaghetti here.
That Bionade from Myeonbong in the final fight brought enough time for the sound barrier, for the blizzard, and just secured that first map. Ilios goes the way of Boston.
Completely out of nowhere and undeserved confidence. Exactly, right? I think it was like, yeah, he's like, oh, I made it to the league. I'm good, like... People should listen to me now. They had negative... Yeah, and like... Okay, here's the thing. You say they had zero money. Morale at zero. They have a good roster, and they have 3 coaches, right? Like... they have way more money than the Valiant. I don't think you can hide behind the fact that you don't have money. Like, the Valiant did way better with less money, from what it seems, right? Like, they have Jexay, they have Repel, they got Dante still, they picked up Meko. Like, they signed Meko, for God's sake. Like, I'm sure Meko was dumb expensive.
For Houston, so we'll see if that changes anything. Double 5 points.
They have Muma, though. Yeah, but that's the thing, is like, that was an active decision to sign Muma. They obviously had money to sign people like Meko. Like, they made an active decision to keep Muma as their main tank, right? Like, you can't, I don't think you can defend that, right? Like, you can't just be like, oh, they had no money. Like, they had money. They made bad roster decisions. I think, I wouldn't be so, I can't 100% remember. Maybe Muma and like Raucus and Dante, like maybe they were all on like 3-year contracts at this point and they were contract locked with those players. That could have totally been a thing and that's why they did it. So we'll see. Yeah, so the merry-go-round begins, as someone says. Repel is in to play the Ana. Can't tell you why. Raucus played Ana. Can't tell you why. There's no reasoning. Just Repel is in now.
To here. The Boston Uprising. See them rolling out with a pretty standard composition.
I like the Ana Brig on defense though.
Muma was a solid. Muma, like as I said, Muma was good in 2018. Muma had some great matches. He was a solid player, but you know, like he had it. Like you can't defend it. Like I'm not saying Muma was a trash player and it was a terrible signing. Muma was a gamble signing, or like in 2019 he didn't have a good season. Same with a lot of the other players on the Houston Outlaws. It was a risk to sign him again, right? And he was probably already locked in for the contract. But yeah.
An unfortunate position here. Into the little cubby holes onto the point. And now Boston want to try and
like what? Like how did they lose someone? Like someone explain to me how Houston have just ended up backing themselves into a corner here.
Houston, the Bionade used defensively, brings them back up, but Boston have taken control of the high.
Yeah, look how fast that cast is shooting.
Houston really want now because they're forced into an unfortunate position here. Into the little cubby holes onto the point. And now Boston want to try and take advantage of this. The ice wall didn't quite catch any players. Another massive Bionade from Myungbong. He's been huge with these. We're going to see now. Look at the...
Oh, Muma's just dead. Like, Houston have just got to do something. Like, they just gave up the platform positioning, and then they just, like, Muma walks into no man's land. Like, what, someone explain to me why Muma's opened up so much there, and like, they never sped in, they never did anything. They're just chilling.
They really need to get started. Boston Uprising are in a very solid position here. Now going to be
Muma was statistically good in 2019. Oh yeah, like. Sure, as I said, like I've never had a big thing against Muma, like, and I don't think he was a terrible player in 2019, but like, yeah, he definitely had a bad season in 2020, and I don't remember the Houston Outlaws being good in 2019. So I think Muma just sort of gets lumped in with that. Oh yeah, they don't have a Lucio. Why are they playing Brig? Oh, is this the season? Is this when they played a ton of? No, I think that was last season, right? When they played a lot of dumb stuff. Yeah, why are they playing Brig? What does Brig offer you at this point?
Contenders, he was doing incredibly well last season when he was playing even outside of the Overwatch League. Yep. We knew it'd be great, but he is really putting on a show so far. The Bionade onto Muma, there was nothing that Muma could do.
Pre-armor pack nav? No, this is. I'm pretty sure this is Brig in. Oh yeah, maybe you're right. Oh.
Gets taken down. With the charge.
Dude, everyone just pressed Q. Oh, that they saw that coming from a while away.
Defensive self-destruct by Meko has to use it.
Yeah, I don't know what form of Brig this is. Oh my god. Check the armor on Doom. Yeah, you might be right. It must be Instapack Brig at this point. How much health does Brig have? 50, 100. Yeah, this is still 250 health Brig. Interesting.
And Houston Outlaws are crumbling under the pressure right now. Dante has to try and stall this one out in the corner. He's using his abilities wisely. Axiom brought down.
How does Axiom get frozen in the middle of his team? Like, how is this a thing? Like, Axiom like goes to step up to Dante and just gets himself frozen and naded and killed. Then he just pins? What are we doing?
Still very winnable for Houston Outlaws. Off the back of those picks, it should be their fight.
Yeah, but the Boston Uprising getting 2 ticks there is incredible for them. Axiom with such an instinctive earth
This is 50. Yeah, so this is like kind of like OG Brig. I think Brig's been nerfed a lot at this point in terms of like the healing output and some of the things, but not in the. It hasn't been redesigned at this point.
Possibly can with Blase and Meko playing a little more aggressively. I like this change, this adaptation from them.
I like the Brig more on the second point than I like the first point. I think the first point you need the speed to sort of play back and forth. And I like the idea here where they're just holding the chokes with the Brig. Oh, I don't agree with that rally by Jax. It wasn't great. Is Blase a top 5 Doom of all time? Doom's a kind like Blase like probably has one of the most play times on Doom. Like Doom is a hero that has never really been played a lot in the history of OWL. Yeah, I really like this strategy, but like I like what Houston are doing here. Like it's gonna be so hard for Boston to get through this choke. The biggest issue that Houston's gonna have is they've already given up 69%, which is nice, but
I mean, he's not able to fly on McCree, so maybe that's the key.
She has, but people hadn't experimented much with a permapack Tracer. Yeah, I don't exactly remember where Brig was at this point.
Absolutely, they've still got the Blizzard to be able to win this fight.
Double shield Doom Brig, but yeah, I guess that got played a lot in the playoffs. But like those are the only times I can remember Doom ever being meta, and then that one, maybe it was in the start of 2020 where a bit of Doom was played. Those are the only times I think I remember Doom. That's a great wall by Dante.
Nicely done by Houston. They're going to catch him out of position. Nanoboost is forced to use. Muffin's sleeping on the job here, but Blase is able to just collect a lot of these kills. Boston's still going to try and see if they can get any.
2020 is so trash, yeah, and like that's what sort of what I did. Like that's sort of what I wanted to say is like 2020 was a very bad season to watch of Overwatch. Like there was so many things wrong with it. Everyone playing online. People like the regions got split, like a 13-7 split. Hero pools were really badly done. We didn't have tournaments until the May Melee, so we played 3 months with only regular season matches. There are no tournaments. There's nothing to play for. So like there was just like, how many regular season matches did we play? We played like 14 regular season matches, like half the season without a tournament.
Boston's fight to win at the end of the day. Nice bio-nade.
13-7 split sounds familiar. They've actually done a really good job with the formatting of this season though, and it seems like they've done it. Ooh, they've done a good job of like making it so that like the round robin and like strength of schedule is a lot less of a thing.
Means he's got little to no value out of it.
The split going on right now is dumb. It's just a problem with globalization and obviously the way that COVID is working. I'm hoping that when, like, maybe next season we get to see a massive change in the way that the format works that hopefully solves this problem. But yeah, having a region split is like, it just feels very redundant. Yeah, we talked a little bit about the homestand, like, idea and the model of, like, what is wrong with the homestand model. Oh my god, Axiom. These pins are questionable. The homestand model was just never going to work. Like, so in its current state, obviously, where people just like, they never play each other is a really bad model. But the old homestand model, like, Patrick actually did a spreadsheet. I don't know if he has that spreadsheet still or if he's around right now. But he did a spreadsheet of like how many miles the teams were going to have to travel. Each team was going to have to travel.
Absolutely could be
per season, and it was ludicrous how much people were going to be expected to travel. Players weren't going to be able to practice. Teams weren't going to be able to scrim. You're going to be consistently in a setup that is not going to be ideal. Like people were, every single time they went to a homestand of the weekend, and there was always complaints. Or think about the end of the 2020 season, right? When Philly and someone else went to Korea. I think they went to Korea to do the Final Four. Like, some teams had really good setups. Some teams didn't have good setups. Like, that's, like, plays a huge factor into, like, giving teams and players advantage. Players getting sick. Players getting burnt out. All those kind of things just would have compounded as time went on. In just the 1 month that they did do traveling homestands for, like, the Washington... There was a Washington homestand. There was 2 Washington homestands and another homestand. And after that, the players were like, they're so tired. They were like, they couldn't do it. Atlanta, yeah, there was an Atlanta one for sure. I don't think Philly and New York would do it, but yeah, it was getting to a point. Like, I remember one of the big reasons I retired was like because they knew that they were going to have these 2020 season where there was going to be this massive amount of travel. I remember talking to our manager who was like planning 2020, and he was like, yeah, like we spent our first week in LA, and then he's like, then we go to Vancouver for a week, and then we come back to LA for a week, and then we were going to China for a month. I'm like, and then he's like, then we come back to LA for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then we go to like the East Coast, and then we have like then we go to Europe eventually, and it's like, I don't want to do all that. Like, that's so much traveling. The travel schedule? Oh yeah, here we go. This is actually really interesting. Like, look at this. So let's look at Valiant, because that's sort of what I was talking on. The yellow is North America, the blue is Europe, and the red is Asia, okay? And green is home. So, your thing. So, yeah, we were going to do 2 in North America. We had 1 in Dallas, and then we played Dallas, Vancouver. I think this might have been in Vancouver. Then we were going to go to China for a month, from the middle of February to the middle of thing. And then there's only like, and remember, there's only a 2-week turnaround between these matches and these matches. Then we, like this one, I don't know what white means. And then we go back to North America, and then we played in LA, and then we do North America. And this is like not even including domestic travel of all these teams. And then we would have got like, so like where we would have gone to like a certain homestand or stuff like that. Then we would have gone to Europe for 2 weeks. Then we would have come back to North America. Like, white is online? I'm not sure. I can't remember. But like, look at the amount of travel that teams are going to do. And then on top of that, think about how expensive it was going to be for all the teams to accomplish this. All the teams are already complaining about how little money they make. Now imagine if they have to have, like, you were going to have a team of like, how many players? Like, how many people would you have had to send to each to each travel destination? You'd probably you have to send your 6 players. You'd probably bring a couple of subs. So you'd have 8 players. Then you'd bring all your coaches, which would be 3 coaches, 2 to 3 coaches, which goes to like 10 or 11. You'd want a content team. So you'd bring about 2 content people, maybe 3 content people. You'd have a GM over there who would control everything, or like a team manager. So you're traveling with about, let's say 12 to 15 people, right? You are now putting 12 to 15 people up in hotels, travel expenses, all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you want that stuff to be high quality and organized. Like, it was just like, this is the scope that I think a lot of people forget of what they were trying to accomplish. And it's just so unrealistic. It was incredibly unrealistic for what was going to happen. I think every team should have one homestand, and every other match should be played online. My personal opinion of where the league should go, because obviously this format is not ideal. Let's start the game while we're going. My ideal format for the league is, I'm going to move this over here as well. My ideal format for the league is kind of what LCS and Valorant do, like their qualifiers. You have regional tournaments, you have regional qualifiers, and then the teams come together after having those regional tournaments and qualifiers. And then you have those tournaments, kind of like those events, and then you eventually have one big event. Every other tournament does that. CSGO, Dota, League of Legends, they all have that kind of format where everything is regionalized. Then everything can function and be successful in its own region, and then they come together for certain events every year. Like, they have a globalized LAN every year, like 3, 4 every year. No regular season. No regular season is not like this, and this goes back to the idea that I think esports was trying to follow. Esports is not regular sports, right? Like, it is not traditional. Oh, nicely. It is not traditional sports or anything like that. It is it is a game in which it changes rapidly, and even traditional sports, they don't do a lot of international travel every year, right? There's no such thing as regular season. It just needs to, like, and I think all these other formats, these LCS, these VCT, these other formats, like a lot of what Riot is doing makes the most sense for the way that esports should work. And I think it has proven to be the best and most successful model. And Boston just didn't help. Yeah, well, they kind of did get dove. So it's kind of hard to close. The team with the least traveling had to travel 21k miles, and if things had gone to plan, the most was 76k miles. 76,000 miles is ridiculous.
Now they just got to wait until that EMP gets built up to 100%. See them already.
All right, Blase Blade, baby. Oh, Repel's dead. That's not great.
To use it early. They're going to take an early pick off onto Repel. This should be Boston backing off, disengaging, just trying to farm up these ults. And now that they're online, they're okay to go this fight.
Even if traditional sports travel so much, they have the money to do so. Our other esports don't have nearly as much money to support that level of travel. That's a great point, right? Like, every traditional sport that does, like, international travel, they literally rent out planes. Like, they have private jets. And they have planes, and then they stay at luxurious hotels. And also, traditional sports is internationally recognized as an important thing, and things that just sort of exist, right? So they can get their foot in the door with a lot of these systems, while esports doesn't have that. So you chose this over New York versus Vancouver? Hell yeah! This game hasn't even got close to being bad yet. The whole point of the toilet bowl.
This could be the win condition for them. He needs to try and get some value out of it. And you can start to see the ultimates are going out, detected. The Dragon Blade.
We're doing the history of... Oh! He did pretty good, considering that they were very ready for him. That was a pretty good blade. Good follow-up by Mooma.
They actually forced to translocate backwards. And Houston are in a great position now.
Yeah, except the Houston Outlaws have kind of split a little bit. They should still be good. They've still got that EMP, but I'm always worried when Houston are in a position.
So recent
like
important patch changes coming into this season.
EMP
Oh!
comes out. Not quite. Jerry was the only one it caught.
The flashbang came out. Ooh, that wasn't great by Dante.
Houston still have an opportunity to try and defend this one, but
When does the double draw happen? In these two maps. Like, it definitely happens on this map.
The Bionate gets eaten up by Meko as well. Sound Destruct going to be off to use now.
Nice memp.
See if they can get value out of it, but it looks like this is Boston's turn to turn it around. Axiom is going to be chunking them down.
Dante wanted to stop high noon and Jerry big brained him. Yeah, that's because Jerry's so smart and handsome and 7'8", 250 pounds of pure muscle. Woo! Dante on the Doomfist. Okay. Blase was playing a bit of the cast, but they Houston were trying anything they could to not play the Cassidy and Blase on the Cassidy.
Incredibly impressive from Dante, making the reaction clutch switch over to the Doomfist, comes in, immediately picks off
Tactical Sombra feed for the clutch Doom. Smart play. That's literally every DPS in my ranked game.
Rolled out because it felt like he got taken out in the fight and was instantly there again.
Yeah, he was incredibly fast. I mean, look at this. All the way in, takes that sound barrier as well, finds an angle onto Myunbong, who was just out of position there, didn't quite manage to tuck himself around the right-hand side, and then collapses with the rest of his team.
Houston went an entire year without his gameplay, yeah, because like they had Linksa, but obviously it seemed like he didn't want to play. I think there was like certain barriers there, so.
It raises its head, it peaks a little bit every now and then, you get to see it.
How is he going to be able to find value?
Blase cast is so good, just wait to see it in the Oasis City Center. No. Oh yeah, here we go, the Trobjawn. Blase playing the Torb instead of the cast, questionable. So they're gonna do the same. I don't understand what they think the cast is gonna do again. Like, why play Torb? Like, Torb is good against like dive characters and like tracers and wrecking balls. Like, what does Torb accomplish here? His turret is just gonna get broken by a Cassidy or a Mei. And machine gun casts just does so much damage, and Jax is just dead. You did it, why not? Yeah, but that was against goats. And there wasn't a machine gun Cassidy.
Wonderful stuff. Repel setting up his team, but
does Blase have one of the worst out careers from Boston, Houston, and London? Blase does have one of the worst out careers. You know, I'm not going to defend him and say he was a good player that just got screwed over. I don't think he ever really was, like, going to be a great player, but there are a ton of players that are worse than him that had much better careers. He got, like, hard screwed of, like, on Boston, he had to play off-tank. And this team, he had to play not his good heroes. And then he went to London and he got to play his heroes, but the team kind of wasn't great. So he got shafted, but yeah, I'm not going to defend him and say that he was a great player that only got shafted.
Wolfen's going to be able to touch the point here just to bring this overtime up. Axiom with a last-ditch charge. It's desperation.
The Nano Torb. Blase's running around with his hammer.
And it's going to be the Houston Outlaws with a lovely defense here.
This is when Torb hammer kills were the only thing that anyone cared about.
This is what you wanted to see from the Houston Outlaws. I love the niche strategies.
The Torbjorn from Blase.
Yeah, like Blase was like a Pharah Genji Doom player, right? But those metas never really came to fruition outside of like 2018, in a way.
See, Boston are actually kind of reading this a little bit. They're going to be running the Brigitte instead of the Lucio. That shield bash stun Enough to be fantastic for trying to shut down any sort of dive.
Was the meta when Tor became meta for a week this year? I can't remember. So much shit happened in 2020. I think Tor was very meta for a bit there. I can't remember why.
Now it's go time. You can see Houston. They count it down. They charge into the fray. Don't get too much value. Repel's caught. That's a bit of a nasty position to be in, but it looks like the rest of the Houston Outlaws are on the
Dude, they are. Houston is so split. Like, wait, what? Like, why is Jexay so deep and not just playing with the Repel? Like, I don't understand why Jexay's Mercy in general. I guess there's nothing else really better, but I feel like Repel's is gonna get left out to dry, and Jexay has no one to really pocket. Maybe you just pocket the Genji, but then the Genji just needs to stay with the Ana. You can't dive like that. Like, it's kind of like anti-synergy.
At this rate, Dante will get his ultimate, and that EMP could be everything you need.
Color's just laying in a bit of spam with the ice.
Will Blase charge a blade? Sure hope so.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be amazing. It's gonna be tight for Houston.
It's gonna be very tight. 1 minute 20 seconds to build up these ults. Muma gets chunked down again, which means Repel's going to be building up this nano boost, but the Young Boy's going to have one of his own. Oh, that's a wonderful
Okay. Here's my problem with this setup from Boston. Literally the exact same thing happened the last time they did this first point hold. Myeonbong literally was there and just gets isolated. And the same thing happened again. Like, why is he there? Like, he's literally so alone and nobody on the Boston Uprising can even help him. Literally, if he just gets dove, nobody can do anything to help him.
That could be exactly what they needed. No more heals for the Boston Uprising. No nano boost. Axiom's in no man's land. He's in the middle of nowhere. This gives Houston Outlaws a lot of room to work with. Nano boost onto Blase.
Like, why not just Nano Muma? If you're gonna go in and they're all standing on the high ground, why not just Nano Muma at that point? Like, why Nano the Genji? Like, and just hope that he just murders a couple of people and gets a bunch of resets? Like, he doesn't have Blade. Alright, here we go. He's gonna pull the Blade, isn't he? He's gonna do it.
He's hunting for it, only 30 seconds remaining.
The Blade eludes him, but the EMP is still there. They can still EMP Blade to try and turn this around. They're so close to that single tick.
And here we go. Blade comes out. And he only...
You can tell Brent is like so ready. And here we go. And then he just gets bopped. And he's like... I think, okay, in Blase's defense, he gets pretty unlucky. As he goes for this dash, I'm pretty sure Color Hex hits him with a right click. Right? Like, that is pretty unfortunate that he gets dinked by the Mei as soon as he goes to pull that blade, so he's so low that he can't play aggressive. Brent Energy was so much different on land. Literally everything is better on land. There's no doubt about it, and that's something that is heavily, like, people are like, oh, you know, the game sucks and the Overwatch League has been struggling because of this thing. It's just the LAN environment. The casters get into it, the energy's better, the fans get more into it, all the crowd's into it. Nice shatter by Axiom.
He seals the deal, and Boston Uprising.
Brandon talked a lot about how depressing the cast only online for so long. Want to quickly remind everyone that I have never done my job in front of a crowd still. And I've only done a studio for like 10% of my entire time as well. So can confirm it is a lot less rewarding and appealing to do when you're just doing it in your living room or you're in your bedroom. It's like, I just want to see the crowd and look at the crowd as I talk about how good things are.
Up with America's first and only nationwide 5G network.
But you did do it in Hawaii, but there wasn't a crowd there. Like, we were just doing a thing. That was a cool studio. Like, don't get me wrong, that was cool. And like, I can get away with studios. Like, I don't need a crowd. Having just a set studio is nice enough. Anything is better than doing it from your from your room with a green screen. You know how hard it is to get excited about fucking Boston versus Vancouver when you just woke up. You woke up at 8 a.m. You put makeup on yourself. You turn on your camera, and then they're like, look alive, and you're like, whoa, who's ready? And then like we're losing sponsors left and right. Yeah, look at this time. Mistakes left and right. It's just
It was a brawl. It was a brawl from both.
This was fun. This was a fun time. Like, this studio was a lot of fun. This was my first entry into the desk, and I missed this. Like, this was a good time. Even though this green screen was worse than all of our other green screens combined, it was just so fun.
Were
Entertainment
you
business, Custa, and I'm entertained. I'm entertained.
Well,
This
wonderful.
is great entertainment.
Yeah, you tried to say
I love
Overwatch.
I love it. I'm having so much fun. It's a blast.
Okay, but I know you're probably sarcastic about this, but honestly, I did have a blast watching it.
Yeah.
It was getting very risque. We had a torp. We had everything we needed, really.
We also got to see Blase's excellent adventure on Genji, where it's just like, surely something's going to. Oh.
This is when all of us have given up on analyzing the game. We're just like, this is a shit show. Like, I haven't highlighted how much of a shit show this has been just yet. I think I'm going to start focusing. I feel like we've talked about a lot of the pieces now. We're going to start talking about, because if you think this was bad, of like the Genji and like, oh, some bad uncoordinated, it gets worse. Like, way worse. So just strap in.
In total, it's going to go for Houston.
And it's gonna, because we're about to fucking, you're about to see history. Oh yeah, just a quick update. Thank you very much, Dragon Ninja. Raucous is back in the lineup, playing Ana. And they're playing the exact same comp they played on Anubis. But Raucous is in now instead of Repel for the reason of...
Are on their way. The Boston Uprising looking to see if they can.
And here's the thing that frustrated me about this whole thing of Raucous and Repel. Literally, both are fine. They're both solid in their own right. Like, literally, oh shit. I don't have a problem with either of those players playing in the flex support role. Just choose one. Like, that's all it is. Just choose one. That's all I care about.
Looking to see if they can set a good time here on the attacking side of Dorado. See Jerry and Blaz.
It's a plan too intelligent for us to comprehend. Yeah, Dream was cooking up some shit.
Also opting for the Brigitte.
Custa getting heated, love it. No, you should have heard me on the desk when I was talking about this. I was frustrated.
On key targets as well. Maybe take a diva out, protect Blase a little bit more. It tends to work very well when your McCree is an incredibly powerful individual aimer, but that isn't really Blase.
Raucous is better on the map, so they have one word in names. Ah, it's good thinking.
Now it's going to be a slow attempt by both these teams.
So Houston has to play slow because they're playing the Brig, right? They're playing to be defensive, and Boston's just got to go. They're just not going to win the war of attrition against the Brig.
Boston's still just going to be playing slow, waiting for Axiom to come back into the fight, seeing if they can get a kill with a bit of spam damage. You can see him exchanging shots.
Yeah, Cass is... I forgot about Machine Gun Cass. I really did.
It all comes down to the ice walls and how they actually engage. Boston Uprising need to make use
Yeah. We're gonna be watching Philly versus Paris Summer Showdown Genji match. That's definitely on the play. So for right now, Axiom, just go. Oh, I guess they had the high noon. The matches that we have planned so far for 2020, we're not gonna watch too many matches because as we said they sucked. It's gonna be this match, the APAC finals for May Melee with the Seoul versus Shanghai Dragons. I don't remember much of that match, but people were saying it was an absolute banger, so I'm looking forward to having a look at it. And then we got the Summer Showdown between Paris and Philly in 2020, and then we're gonna watch a playoff match with the Roadhog. Like the Roadhog Xayah, probably like a Washington Justice or a Seoul Dynasty match of the Xayah Roadhog meta. And that's pretty much all we're planning on watching in 2020.
When you're in this scenario, when you're running...
Yeah, Justice vs. Shock is probably it in the playoffs that we were talking about. But I want to confirm that match.
Just running a worse composition. And so the Boston Uprising get big value out of that nano.
Spicy Maywalls, yeah. That was like much better. They're actually getting like value about it going aggressive.
Him slept up here could be a bit of a danger, but the counter sleep comes onto Boomer. Both Reinhardt snap in.
Both teams having to use their Ice Walls defensively. Blase going to be the recipient of the Nano Boost, has to drop down away from the Blizzard. Mumado caught out of position. You can see Axiom actually trying to use a shield to block away the healing away from Mumado.
Oh god, Color Hex. Dude, did that just land on Color Hex? Color Hex straight up catches the bomb.
To block away the healing away from Muma.
Oh my god.
On top. Meko slept as he tries to get into his mech. The flashbang from Jerry will be enough as they put an end to him. So Boston again pushing forward. A lot of proactive plays from them to try and take.
You should watch NA Week 9 match. The Torbjorn Rust was really fun. We'll see. As I said, we'll play it by ear. Those are the ones on the docket right now. We'll work it out. We can't watch too many, right? As I said, we're catching up to 2021.
Reactive. A lot of ults up here.
New season starts soon.
To pick his timing for this blizzard.
Oh, and again, Muma.
Oh, Muma just gets rolled. Like, look at how slow this whole thing is, by the way. Muma just, like, drops and is controlling the cart. I don't know where Swimmer is. Like, then Muma's just incredibly alone. No one's doing anything. And, like, Jerry's just, like, hard flanking, but then gets seen by Blase. But then Blase has the high ground.
Jerry and Blase going to be exchanging a couple of hits here. Forced into the corner. Jerry again capitalizes. Takes him out. Blase had to back
like, yeah, like, well, we're playing Brawl, but no one's really playing Brawl. And I feel like the Brig just makes him so flat-footed.
Very well coordinated. With 4.5 minutes left to capture point C. Boston Uprising are rolling this map so far.
Why didn't he counterpin? Oh, there you go.
Houston, that is not what you want to see. The momentum is just going to keep on rolling.
Okay, here we go.
Shows no signs of stopping. Boston Uprising going to rotate up top, take the high ground away from Houston without Raucus even being in position to heal up his team.
Raucus is flanked into the back line. You better believe he did.
Jerry with the Deadeye on the high ground. That Deadeye is going to be causing havoc if they've got nothing to try and counteract it.
All right, here we go. Houston go over to the Lucio so that they can rush him.
Icewall gets really no value. Just a little bit of space.
Good
nice
boop.
Move, though. I believe that was Meko that pushed Jerry down onto the low ground. It meant that the Deadeye was completely negated.
Here we go. Now we're going to get some brawling.
Gives Houston the high ground. They're going to be trying to drop down.
Oh, that. Drop the ball. Muma gets. Oh, Muma get. That was not a good. Dude, Muma's actually getting MTD by Axiom.
Blase going to be trying to see if he can turn this one around in his own way. Meko's sleeping on the high ground. It's going to be frozen.
Oh, Raucus died. Where was Raucus?
On the high ground.
Oh, Raucus is in there.
It's going to be frozen as well. Not an ideal scenario as he gets staggered out.
Dante is back.
Dude, Mufin's just murdering people.
Killed as well. Mufin.
Oh, great mail.
Right up in his face.
Yeah. That blizzard is going to be causing the Houston Outlaws.
Dude, Muma. Look at this experience by Muma. Muma gets aggressive, pins, gets counterpinned, gets frozen, gets naded, and then just dies. And that's a main tank life right there.
Outlaws are just falling, crumbling to pieces. A last-ditch effort from Raucus with the Bionade is not quite.
Alright, there we go.
We've seen on
Let's do it.
actually that he has a good reputation among the other pros.
Frowny Town? Absolutely Frowny Town.
You would normally expect Fusion.
How many deaths does Muma get? Yeah, this was kind of like, this match was really the end of Muma, right? Does Muma play much after this? I feel like Muma gets like, I remember Muma getting pretty hard memed after this match, and I think he might get benched after this, right? And then Hydration just plays main tank after it, so this might have been like one of the last matches that Muma ever plays.
Trying to fake out a rotation all the way around.
Wasn't he one of the better Western main tanks in the beginning? Did he just stagnate? I think he just stagnated. And then like the teams that he was on, the Houston Outlaws, just also stagnated. So he just, oh, nice play by Jerry.
He's on your flank. He's on a mission.
How did Jerry get there?
In their faces before what they want to do here. Houston have to play
To fake out a rotation all the way
He
around.
just do like a stupidly long flank?
Houston have to play aggressive.
Just walked in? Yeah, like why are Houston just hiding in this room? Are they trying to play this like maze strat where you just like hold the cart? It just seems like a really bad strategy.
Jerry, he's on your flank.
Like Muma, yeah, like I think Muma is a prime example of someone who like heavily stagnated
With Blase going down.
and just never really got to that point. But yeah, obviously struggling on the teams. Like, why is he pinning? Like, there's no reason to go for that pin.
Jerry again, another nice pick up onto Jexay. Is it Houston have no choice now but to back all the way out.
He just walked around the right side, yeah.
Find these timings and angles and ice walls to be able to engage with the main replay.
Well, actually, I guess Boston.
Really found a good.
Oh, wait. Boston is on defense.
They're
Yeah, that makes sense.
how they rotate around the map.
So that kill isn't that bad crazy. I thought they were on attack for a second there, but no, they were already attacked.
Cooldowns to all be back before they go. Sometimes you have to turn up the tempo and ignore your cooldowns just because you have to catch the enemy.
Chased out by Meko, yeah.
you make it too predictable, Boston can just out-rotate.
Muma was the US main tank? Yeah, like Muma was really good in 2018. Like Muma and the Houston Outlaws were a good team in 2018. But you know, like a lot of players have had a lot of drop off and stuff like that, right? Like here is like the point as well that's worth talking about of like relating it to Super. Actually, we can just keep playing. Oh my god, Muma just tried to pin again and died for it. Please stop pinning. It's the you know how people are like, oh, why didn't Super retire? Like, why did Super retire? If Super didn't retire, Super probably would not have played at the same level that we know him for. And like, especially if he didn't care as much, he lost that passion, that drive, and he just wanted to focus on streaming. Like, there's a lot of players. I think Muma is a classic one of those players who he just should have retired. Like, he should have retired after 2019. He had a okay season, but maybe he didn't have that drive. Maybe he wasn't confident, all that kind of stuff. There are a ton of people that do that kind of stuff, and they just stay around for too long, and they end up just like, instead of leaving on a high and on mild success and then being like happy and content with your career, like they just hang around for a little bit too long, and then they sort of hurt their own legacy, right? Like if Muma had retired at the end of 2019 and didn't play in 2020, he'd be remembered as a good main tank. Like he was a solid main tank, and he was a good main tank. But because he had this 20 season, and it was just a few matches where he played really badly, that's what people remember him for. I think Fusions as well. Yeah, Fusions is a good example, but Fusions only really got didn't really get that much opportunity and stuff like that. It's sad, but that's the esports lifestyle. Yeah, exactly, right? Like the same thing could have exactly happened to me. Like if I decided to play in 2020 and I didn't retire, like people, like I might have just played like trash on the Valiant, and then people would have memed me and been like, Custa was never good. And like, which, you know, would have made me a little sad because I was at least a little good. But like, you really get defined by like critical moments of your career, right? Neptuno too, yeah, Neptuno. Neptuno unfortunately never got his opportunity to play again, but yeah, he left on. People remember Neptuno as like an incredible. Oh!
What is that, Jerry?
You're still on meme. Yeah. Like as I said, like as I said, you get defined by like a few critical moments. Obviously, getting benched by Kuki is like a big part of it, and like my fat finger. But like people still remember me of like I won stage 4 and like that the Valiant was a good team and we had success with me on the team. But I feel like that would have been massively overshadowed if I played in 2020 and then like got benched again and then was just completely useless and never played another game, right?
It's something that's rarely been seen before. The Houston Outlaws changing things up from fight to fight.
The GOAT Mercy, yeah, like people still remember me, and like, you know, people say they really enjoyed watching me, and like that's what you want to be remembered for, right?
That's the kind of split play that I want to see more.
And now you're known for talking words good. I don't even talk words good. I talk Overwatch good. Oh, that Muma just... Dude, Muma's actually having a shocker. I don't remember it being this bad.
I believe that was Axiom who got the Earth Shatter off, but still the value in the damage.
Animo feels like one of those players. Animo, I am surprised Animo got signed. I am very surprised that Animo got signed, but maybe Goomba sees something. And like, don't get me wrong, players have redemption arcs. Like, like players do have massive redemption arcs. Some players can pull themselves out of that pit and they end up having good success, right? Like, who's a player that we can think of as someone who was like, had a good season, then had a bad season, then came back, right? Like, Birdring's a great example. Rascal, after having a bad season 1, Ben Best on the Paris Eternal in 2020. Fearless coming from the 0-40 Shanghai Dragons. Like, it happens. Like, some people do have that great redemption arc, but there's I think you really need that drive and that passion to get to sort of right that wrong. And I hope Animo does do that, because I really don't want Animo to just like... I think Animo's been struggling for a while, and I'm surprised he did get signed for Florida, but I would be very happy to see him just like prove me wrong and just prove that he definitely deserves to be in the league still and like step up. Oh, good boobs. Axiom still goes down. Jerry popping though.
Made a meal out of it. 2 kills on the flank. Traded very nicely, very cleanly. The Boston Uprising, they only had to commit a couple of ultimates.
Houston are getting rolled.
They still got color hexes, Blizzard. And only 20 seconds now for Houston to try and make some magic.
A miracle is...
Fleta wasn't that great in Season 1. That's wrong. Fleta was very good on Season 1. Sol weren't good in Season 1. Fleta was like the only good player on Sol.
Blase
His Widow was nuts.
See if he can make the magic happen. But he's all the way at the back, and it hasn't been great for him so far.
Oh, they're going to push right into the Deadeye to charge. Absolutely destroyed.
Oh, wow. Good. Actually, pretty good play by Blase.
Jerry, but Boston Uprising, they seem to have full control of the fight, full control of the map. And as they pick off the remaining stragglers, they are going to take map number 2, or map number 3, I should say.
Just keep him on the Reaper Doom. I think McCree was just, and that was actually a big talking point going into this match. Is like Cassidy was just too good of a hero to not play, and that was the problem when you saw Blase. And it's like you kind of had to play it because he was Machine Gun Cassidy, and he just does so much damage in this current state.
Playing first to 3, so some good Bionades. Yunbong has stolen the show.
And Linksa just wasn't it, yeah.
We are really quite spoiled in the Overwatch League when it comes to flex support players.
Boston's 2-0. This should be a quick match. I don't even remember who wins this. Actually, no, I do remember, actually.
So many incredible, mostly Korean, flex support.
Repel. Map change. Time to switch to flex sports. Ding, 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 ding. Repel, your time to get in. Raucous, good hustle. Back on the bench.
For some reason, the Korean contenders region just pumps them out.
Now it's Boston Uprising.
Repel won the coin flip, yeah.
Houston.
Notice how Blizzard World is 2 words. That's true. That's true.
Obviously, because
Makes sense.
map away from taking the entire series.
And finally stopping that 9-match loss streak. Boston Uprising, they can smell it. Against their former player Blase, no less.
Alright, we're gonna get the mirror comps to Lucio Ana. We've sort of agreed that this is the comp to play.
This match here as we head into potentially the last map of the series. Boston Uprising versus the Houston Outlaws. You can already see the early rotations coming out. The ice wall is nice. It's gonna push apart Color Hex.
Oh, that's a much better wall, and Dante just gets bopped by Jerry. Remember, like, oh wow, they actually got Jerry. That was unlucky. Jerry was getting so many first picks. Like Jerry was. Oh, nice wall. I like it.
Like a runny egg.
And you can really see the difference between the ice walls and how it can just totally change a fight.
Oh, that's a good sleep. Now they can't touch.
It splits the team
And he's frozen. Oh no.
Boston just run away. They just disengaged. Whereas when
This is when Jerry made his name. Yeah, Jerry like really pops off this match.
and Moomer and the front couple of players that were caught off just immediately get eviscerated.
Boston with a very, very fast point A capture.
Sad to not see any more Color Hex. Color Hex was also had the curse of he was always on Boston, but no disrespect to Color Hex, but Color Hex, he was fine, but he never really put up very big results or numbers. But as said, he was on Boston, so you know, no one really put up good numbers or results on Boston.
But I would expect Axiom.
Waiting for now. Not gonna opt to use the ice wall.
He had a good one. He was a really good prospect coming out of Australia. It's just kind of really,
The nano boost.
it's hard to really know how good someone is. Like, as we say, when you're on a good team, it's easy to look good. When you're on a bad team, it's easy to look bad. And like, you never really know with someone like Color Hex, like what his potential could have been on a different team. But the reality is, he did not have a good career, unfortunately. Good high noon. He held that. Why didn't he wait until the Matrix went down when he was holding it? Yeah, like Gamsu and Note had good solid things, but like Gamsu and Note also had success on other teams that like helped you realize, like Gamsu, Color Hex wasn't in 2018 when Boston was good and Gamsu and Note were good, and then Gamsu and Note both left in 2019 Boston when Color Hex came in, and Boston was bad in 2019 and 2020. Blase lost now 1v1 to the stairs, yeah.
Have still got this huge Blizzard advantage. Dante is struggling to build this one up.
Color Hex is waiting for a good opportunity to use it now. Waiting to see.
Color Hex is definitely May-diffing Dante right now in this match.
Pushed away while Mecha was forced to defense matrix to Deadeye. It's a free Blizzard.
Oh, Moomy gets shattered again. Oh, good pin.
Sealed the deal. And that's going to be another capture into point B. Boston Uprising. 5 minutes in the time bank is almost unheard of.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. The Houston Outlaws are just putting up no defense right now. They're crumbling. They can't even find an opportunity to.
Here it comes. Oh, I remember. I actually remember what you're talking about. This Jerry moment. Yeah.
This Axiom Shatter that sealed the deal towards the end.
An absolute freebie.
Oh, he gets frozen. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing Moomy can do about that one.
And the sound barrier coming out from Jexe could do absolutely nothing. Nice ice wall, but defensive from Dante. He picks up his counterpart.
Yeah, Boston are playing with confidence right now with this brawl. They're playing way better than Houston on this Lucio Ana.
The Houston Outlaws can't get near it.
His pickoffs have been brutal for Houston. They're trying to stop the bleeding. They're trying to at least get up a decent defense, but unable to press forward. But now it is go time. You see the ice wall? Decent by Dante, but Boston...
Oh, Muma just took so much.
Muma chucked down. He goes for the earth shatter, but he gets nothing.
Yeah, and I feel like, yeah, like this is really what Muma is remembered for, right? Yeah, it is actually, I think the MTD and the May diff, I actually agree with that. I think Axiom and Color Hex and Jerry, obviously. Like, I think those three are massively outplaying their counterparts. Like, I think Jexe, Repel, and Meko are actually playing pretty solid. And like Boston, you know, Boston, Moof, and Swimmer and Meowmong are playing solid as well. But I definitely think those three things are the big differences. Ana diff? I think Repel's doing okay on the Ana.
Actually wants to hold on to it. Nano boost by Repel.
But I could be wrong about that. Oh.
It's falling very, very, very low. Self-destruct to the back like Jerry.
And the thing you need to remember here is there isn't mid-air roll. So it's not like maybe I had the roll. That just doesn't exist. In Jerry's defense, he's probably dead. Regardless of what happens here, he's probably dead. But I respect the hustle of, you know, sometimes you got to limit test when it matters most. And then the flashbang on the way down, as if that's going to change anything. Jerry! This is the moment that Bren and Josh just started yelling Jerry. This is like, if you ever heard someone just be like, Jerry! It is because of this moment. Just because of that moment and the rest of the series. You want to watch it again? Alright, here we go.
Self-destruct to the back like Jerry! Jerry! To hold on to it. Nano boost by Repel. Used on to Muma. He just wants to hold on to it. Axiom. It's falling very, very, very low. Self-destruct to the back like Jerry!
Jerry!
Jerry! He tried to make the moves! Oh my word, he falls to his death! The counter charge.
Oh my god, this was the turning point. Dude, I think Boston were winning up until that moment and it all just falls apart.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, I knew this match would deliver entertainment, Brent. Boston, Houston, Jerry.
Yeah, well, I think it was one of our best of the days, was this. This is the historical moment. This is what you guys need to remember. Now you can remember the origins of Jerry.
He just didn't have it. Swimmer wasn't there. Maybe
you can say, oh yes, I was there when Jerry jerried. Jerry's not signed this yet? Yeah, no, I think it's over for Jerry.
Nice wall. Very nice wall. It's going to force the...
Oh, that... I don't think that Mayo was necessary. I think he could have tossed that a little bit more forward.
Didn't really get a lot done with it.
Yeah, he had to throw it right at the floor because he was worried about Meko's defense matrix.
I thought he thought it was going to pin. Honestly, not a bad guess. And then, like, yeah, like, it seems like they're both so scared of the divas that they're just tossing them. Nowhere near close enough. Oh, my.
You can see Momo goes for the shatter. Doesn't find anything. He only found the one player, and that was Movement falling to the deck. But it looks like this
good beat.
Boston's match. Samo's going to come out from Houston. They try and hold on. At least with a HP advantage.
Dude, Axiom and Muma are just fucking whizzing past each other, pinning.
Off to the side. That's good.
They're just
Muma is getting bullied in these matchups. He's either frozen up, or he's getting bionated, or Meko isn't quite there to be able to defense matrix him.
This is worse than I remember. There's a reason people remember it as the toilet bowl.
I think this is one of the issues with adding Meko to this roster is that they don't quite have
Ships passing in the night.
They win that fight, but these next few are gonna be tough. Boston just had so much time.
Muma's so out of position. He's holding way more aggressive than anyone else. Oh, Carl Hex is dead. Oh, he didn't get the kill. Oh, now Blase's dead. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Did Muma just try and pin there?
Stall that frozen. It's cold times out here if you're a main tank player. Player's going to be looking to see if he can collect any more. This is going to set the Boston Uprising on the right path. Get any more picks off. You see Dante's just waiting, stalling, trying to buy a bit more time.
That was a good stall by him.
But at least they're dying on the payload. This timer has ticked down. Boston Uprising will not have over a minute left when they capture, if they capture at all.
Alright, here we go. Axiom, big shatter. Muma, big shatter.
He has to eat this now. It's going to be a big win condition for them.
Oh, good bomb.
It's going to force the shield round to the back, and Myeongbong is not safe. Axiom with the
Oh,
Earth Shatter.
shit.
From the side, and 3 hits. Is not safe. Big win condition for them.
Why didn't Muma run out of the freeze? I guess he had a Mei on him as well, but he kind of like walked into the blizzard there. Yo, I think Axiom could have been a start. Okay. Let me saw your role. Okay, let me just... Because I'm just going to be honest here. We're not going to watch another Boston game from 2020. This game makes Axiom look good. It makes Jerry look good. They're not that good. Remember, Boston go... What is Boston's regular season record for this season? This is one of their only 2 wins in the entirety of the season. So we can slow our roll a little bit, guys. Better than Valiant.
The Houston Outlaws did a good job.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true from this most recent season.
Right now, but they're trying to make the best of it. They're going to be trying to make it go now.
Why weren't they playing Baptiste? People didn't really understand how strong Baptiste was at this point, I think. But why do I feel like Baptiste didn't heal as much? Yeah, Bap wasn't meta yet. I don't think he has the widescreen ultimate yet.
It all could be over here.
But yeah, Impact was... I think he did less healing, and he didn't have IMAX yet.
Top hold. They need Meko to play a little aggressively. He boops a couple of people off the high ground. Good. That'll start the Boston Uprising.
Oh.
It's a nice wall as well from Dante.
Only 60 flat. Yeah, I remember Baptiste got a buff that made him more valuable. So the lamp was good, but I think he didn't do as much healing. And I also think, you know, old habits die hard. Oh, nice. That was a good play by Muma.
Those are the kind of ice walls we want to see.
Yeah, but Immortality Field is so broken. I don't think people realized how broken it was at this point.
You're going to be able to clean up the rest of these players. It's going to be a point A capture.
Immortality was longer cooldown too. Yeah, there was I think there was a legitimate reason, but yeah. Well, great play by Mecha.
Just the faster you can get in the enemy faces, they respawn. The more momentum you can get for yourself as you go through Blizzard World Point B. And Dante is miles ahead of Color Hex in terms of his ult generation. Not quite as far ahead as Color Hex was.
Wait, does this go 6-6? No, I don't think so. I think it goes 3-3.
Get the ball rolling a little bit. Control of the high ground.
Do the players see the different colors? No, the game looks completely normal. This is like a spectating skin. Scrim.
Forces them back. It's going to be the 1-for-1 trade at least. In the back line here, Jerry pressured down once more.
Get him, Axiom.
Houston have figured out what's really going to be biting them, and it is Jerry getting a lot of value on these flanks. They shut him down this time.
Yeah, I like this from Meko. A bit more.
Well, Outlaws already attacked? No.
Up in Jerry's face. And Houston Outlaws
Boston actually beat Houston for the play-ins for the finals. Dude, do you guys remember that?
Wobble wobble, motherfucker.
Do you guys remember when Houston came straight up last? Theoretically, Houston were the last team in the entire season because in the finals, they played Farah. And they literally just died on the Farah Hill, and Boston just knew how to beat it. They like, Jerry played Cassidy, and he just countered it. And it was like, from what we've heard from other people, is that apparently Houston did really well in scrims playing Farah. Like, apparently they did actually have a lot of success playing the comp that they went down in, but somehow Boston had the secret formula to beating it, and it just looked really bad. It was like, that was like the deep hole of the Houston Outlaws. Like, they lost a lot of fans that day. Oh, wow. Oh my god, Houston did well in scrims, dude. Legitimately. You know who came out and said Houston did well in scrims? Dream.
Absolutely not. Houston Outlaws stayed a little too long up.
What the fuck?
And Repel, my son, what are you up to back there? Staggering himself a little bit towards.
Heard it 50 times, yeah. The Scrimbox exchange is always flowing, but is never valuable.
This time they're gonna have to grapple with the high ground. They need to take a dry engagement.
When has Scrimbox ever worked? What is one time where all the Scrimbox went super high and it actually was true?
Down there. But they will give up all the tempo
Like, obviously, teams that do well in scrims sometimes do well, but like one that's been so publicly scrimbucks.
Goes for the charge. And oh, wow.
Great ice wall from
2021 Houston. Zephyr, dude, Zephyr did not play out.
Now they sacrifice a lot of this high ground positioning, but I think Boston are going to be okay with this because
Justice playoff run, yeah, I guess there is a couple.
using the ice wall to get back up and booped off almost instantly afterwards.
Shock in season 2, yeah, we knew everyone knew Shock was going to be good though. Like, who was playing against him?
Anyone's game right now.
It's just chaos. It is chaos.
What, like, what, yeah, what actually did just happen?
He's repel out, and he's
So Houston go in here and they die. And then they're trying to live?
A lot of this high ground positioning, but I think Boston are going to be okay with this because
That's a good wall.
Look at that.
Good boot.
Using the ice wall to get back up and booped off almost
But then
instantly
Mooma's on the
afterwards.
floor.
Mooma's
Gets Color Hex.
wins the 1v1 there against Color Hex. This is a brawl down under anyone's game right now.
It's just chaos. It is chaos. Houston Outlaws have stayed in this fight a little too long.
I assume Mooma got booped off.
Everything they needed to succeed. And once the Boston Uprising cement themselves, Houston are going to be wishing they had that minute back. They do still have ults though. Things aren't still terrible for Houston. They've still got a bit of a foothold in this game. But they need to figure out a way of dragging Boston down from the high.
This looks like my gold game. Yeah, this is a classic, dude. I forgot how much entertainment this was. You know what the other toilet bowl that was also very entertaining? The London-Vancouver game was very entertaining as well. That was, I would say that's my second favorite toilet bowl from this most recent season. 2021 London versus Vancouver, dude. It had all the same wacky shit of just like the spaghetti was being dropped, but it was so funny. I had so much fun watching that in voice with like the other desk. The bread bowl, yeah.
Taken out first. It's high noon. Blaze's the better cowboy of the two.
Can we watch that? We might. We'll see.
That gives him free reign to pop off a couple of these shots. Caught up into the blizzard, has to drop to the low ground. Luckily, his team is there to support him. With the damage being done.
Got my eyes. He kind of aims like I do, where he flicks every shot.
Force the back off and away now.
Yeah, that's true. Blase was also in that toilet bowl, wasn't he? Oh wait, was he in that toilet bowl? I thought they had Sparker at that point. Can't remember if Blase played in that toilet bowl. That's why he's missing. Yeah. He what? Did he play in that toilet bowl? Oh my god.
Wait for Lucio to come back because
The toilet bowls was where my heart is at. Yeah.
out of the blizzard, the speed advantage for Boston will just totally ruin their chances.
Yeah, you need that speed boost. You gotta
Is Otto on the team? I'm pretty sure he's still in contenders. I'm pretty sure he's playing Korean contenders. Or Chinese contenders? He's playing one of the two.
That will decide point B.
You're gonna take out this ice wood. Dante, he needs to get
He could throw the. He could have thrown that mail. That was Matrix there.
Boston just worked their way around. They need to try and get a teammate.
Oh, that's a huge nade by Repel.
Repel is massive. Forces Boston
Dude,
even
Houston
further
should like why? Someone explain to me why Houston is not pushing this advantage.
back. Used. Boston
Does Mooma get booped off? Mooma jumps off. No, Mooma.
to this fight.
Like, why didn't he just run at them? Like, after this nade hits, Mooma should be run at them. They gotta go. Like, he goes onto the cart, which all that does is gives Boston the time to reset.
Even further back.
Myeonbong's gonna get nano now. Like, Myeonbong's gonna nano. Oh, good mail though. That's a problem.
Point. If anyone tries to contest, it's gonna be very difficult.
How's Axiom not for?
If anyone tries to contest, it's gonna be very difficult. Laid down onto the point. If anyone tries to contest. Now we're gonna see the blizzard laid down onto the point. If anyone tries to contest, it's gonna be very difficult.
Yeah, I think he is theoretically frozen by the game at the same time that he counterpins. So therefore, he takes the two stuns at the same time.
Laid down.
The Maywall? Maybe? But wouldn't Dante have frozen him as well? I guess Dante stopped shooting him. Actually, the Maywall might make more sense.
It's gonna be very difficult. Axiom. Countercharge.
Does the Maywall, does putting a Maywall on a male stop it from doing anything though? I don't think that's true, is it? Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. LOS from Cart? Cart doesn't count as LOS. Maywall doesn't stop LOS, and Cart doesn't stop LOS. It has to be what I said, right? It's the only thing that makes sense. Sleep animation too. I think he gets counterpinned. Axiom had plot armor. That's the real reason. Interesting. Card stop Steven on LOS? Yeah, but that's completely different, right? That's a wall, but the card is not solid. It's for the same reason that you can get shattered through the card. Things like you can get EMP. Actually, can you get EMP through a card? I think you can. Yeah, like Jexe?
Houston are the ones who will be coming out on top.
Only Shaq Sparker, yeah, okay, I thought so. Truly a series of events that can only happen in El Clasico, yeah.
But now that they've got the picks, they can start moving forwards. A kill onto Jerry would be huge.
Big.
Nice. They get Jerry and Muffin. These are players that will spawn way further back, and the Houston Outlaws can start taking their way through point C. Only 2 minutes on the clock compared to the 5 that Boston Uprising had. But they've got a good ultimate situation to keep the momentum rolling.
If it wasn't counterpinned, it means Mooma has managed to cancel his own team's mayout. Oh my god.
A lot of pressure now. It's gonna be onto Mecco. Jerry
Gets Jexe.
He's dead eyes every single time.
Where did he thread that one through? Did he come around the back?
Jexe, his sound barrier is
Oh,
gone.
nice.
That's absolutely brutal for Houston.
Oh.
Still Houston gonna be trying to make the most.
Blase diff. Oh my god, Blase actually slowed. Oh,
This
dude.
is absolute chaos.
Yeah, why is Mooma shattering that? Mooma's like, look at, like, why is, first of all, why is Mooma here?
Still Houston gonna be trying to make the
Did he
most.
pin over here? Mooma, did you pin over there?
Jexe, his sound barrier is gone.
That's absolutely brutal for Houston.
Still Houston gonna be trying
And
to
then
make
he
the
just
most.
turns around and shatters after losing
This is absolute
Mooma.
chaos. Ultimates are being traded.
Like, Mooma just, like, I honestly think Mooma would be playing a perfectly fine game if he just unbound pin.
Still Houston looking to counterattack. It's going to be a better blizzard from them, and they are going to be able to push this one further forward.
Yeah, Axiom really felt like he could turn that. With one more swing and he would have had his ultimate up. Potentially that Earth Shatter changes everything. But they just ran straight into Dante.
That's for Houston for beat. But the problem with what they just did is they used all of their ults to get there to win that. But I guess they only, Axiom's the only person with an ult. So, oh, good wall as well.
Pushing them apart. You always got to be watching out when Jerry's on the flank. Repel takes care of him.
Oh, good block by Dante.
No value out of the Earth Shatter. Houston pushing this one forward. They just need 1 or 2 more kills. And they have done it, surely. Just going to take care of Color Hex. The Ice Wall's doing a lot there from Dante. And they are
Alright, there we go. Boston just hyper mega beat. That was actually a pretty good fight by Houston Outlaws. You got to give them there. They held the door right. They held the choke right. They got a great wall down, isolate, Color Hex, and then they, you know, get everyone else. Sign Coco to save the shock. Yo. Pull the Coco out of retirement.
As you said, Josh, you set the scene perfectly. It's all about these rotations.
They're not even giving
Zoomer's outdated.
cut off by the main wall, so Boston Uprising
Boomer's activated.
established position before Houston have any opportunity. And now it's just a default fight on the point. Dante's main wall too far back.
Neither
Can't find
walls
him.
were very good here.
Main wall for Color X.
Oh, good sleep on it, Jerry.
Slept up. That could be a win condition for him. The Bionade is going to get
Mooma
onto
got bio.
Mooma very, very low. Has to back up to the safety of his team.
Oh, that's an important sleep on the Blase.
He's sleeping on the job. He's going to be waking though.
That, like, just the amount of time that it takes away from DPS not having coming out from your Cassidy is just so big. Dude, Houston are just so split.
An opening here.
That was an awful word. Oh, wow. They didn't even touch.
Barely even touching the point.
And a nade change? Yeah, yeah.
Hold on.
You hate the change? Really? Why? I love the Ana change. As an Ana player, it's so nice that your nades actually go through teammates when they're full health.
Not expecting Color X to stay
It was so annoying when your full health teammates just catching the nades. Like, mine.
complete mirror match for both of these teams.
Just using the arrow to scout out a little bit, see if they were holding close.
But let's take a look. How did the Houston Outlaws
We believe that Bap wasn't meta because he actually hadn't been buffed yet.
early rotation?
Oh! Dude, Myunbong's been getting sleep after... Oh, someone's dead.
Oh, Dante needed to find that pick. He stopped
Good block on the nade.
tracks.
That is
Clutch.
so good from Dante.
He used to hit full HP teammates, yeah. It was very annoying.
Just asleep on the floor.
It was the same with shots. Actually, no, I think shots have always gone through. But yeah, nades used to hit full HP teammates.
When Mooma was slept, he
This is
had
2020.
One instance where the
Now it's only more annoying when you have a 195 HP teammate. Yeah.
Boston Uprising have already rotated up top. Houston Outlaws
Boston Uprising have had some really cool like Maywall
Nobody is
spots.
near them. Youngbong is the closest. That nano boost could change.
Why do I feel like someone didn't make it?
Here, the team's a little bit split. Sleep Dart gets no value. Point has to be contested. It's gonna be the defense.
Nano, get him, Axiom.
Now the nano boost. Axiom trying to get value. Ate up by Meko again.
Go forward, bro. I guess he's worried about their Nano.
Dante will have his blizzard.
Oh, dude, Myunbong is farming. Oh, Jerry killed the fucking Cassidy. Oh, no.
And it looks like the Houston Outlaws are gonna hold on. And they are, once they clean up the stragglers.
Oh, God. I'm feeling secondhand tiredness that I remember I was feeling as I was watching this match. It's now 2-0 after 4 maps. It's time for a new map, chat. You know what that means? It's your boy. Rock is coming in.
Control map. Maybe they just write.
Woo! Ding, 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 ding. Time for a new support. Let's go.
Well, it all starts here on Oasis. Map 6.
Keep them rotated, baby.
Map 5, I should say.
Alright, same thing. They're playing the exact same comp. Just Raucus is playing the Ana now.
You can see the aggression immediately. Colahex's wall stops Meko in his tracks. He tried to retreat to the safety of his team, but wasn't quite good enough. Muma slept up as well.
Oh, nice pin. What the hell? That was weird.
And Boston again. Great ice walls from Colahex have really opened this
Oh,
one up.
dink.
Yeah, and I'd say that's a theme throughout this series as well. Colahex has been on point with the ice walls, finding those opportunities to separate.
It must be so tilting to be a Houston Outlaws fan. That's why you should feel bad for Houston Outlaws fans. I understand Houston Outlaws fans can sometimes be very annoying, kind of like Shock fans. But,
I do wonder as
you
well
know,
if that is actually
I think you can be mean to Shock fans. Not mean. You can be rude to Shock fans when they're being pretentious about the San Francisco Shock because at least they've had success. But you can't be mean to the Houston Outlaws. They don't even know what success feels like. They're like, it's literally been nothing but pain. They don't have reprieve. Like, the San Francisco Shock are like complaining all the time. It's like, oh my God, our team's so bad in 2021. We're 5th. Oh God, it's so hard being 5th. And then Houston Outlaws fans are just in the background, just like, bruh. You don't even know.
actually his fault, or how much of it is the Boston really playing well and pressuring him a lot. See Meko here trying to take an off angle. He wants to try and push them off the high ground if he can. A lot of damage being taken from these off angles here. Forces them down. Mumido, he's frozen up in one place. Axiom has to
Imagine how Boston fans, Boston were good. You guys had a perfect stage. Boston had a good 2018. You guys, as much as it was a long time ago, you had a good moment.
not enough. I want to say it's not enough.
It shouldn't be enough.
They're still in this fight though, but Jex is going to put an end to it, thankfully. And it is going to be Houston recapping over this first control point, and I'm glad to see.
Yeah, Boston 2021 was okay.
Seeing how
But Houston have had some okay times as well.
Yeah, Houston managed to get back into things, and they're in a good position here. This map is a lot about control of this high ground and picking.
It's pretty Texas hard to be a Houston fan, huh? Yeah. Yeah, like, who has collectively been the worst team of all time? Like, who has had the least amount of success in all of Overwatch League?
a little bit further than the rest of the
As a team?
Dante finding a Maywall again.
speed boost off to the side. Now the Deadeye going to be used here.
Toronto?
No, gets no value. And Axiom just waiting to try and build.
Mayhem have been okay. Like, Florida have been pretty good. Florida has the worst win rate of all time. Well, that might answer it, actually.
Sweep him up.
Sweep him up, ship him out. Houston Outlaws use their speed.
Vancouver? No, Vancouver were too good in 2019 to say Vancouver.
They spot out Colahex.
It has to be a team that has always been bad. Like, I think it comes down to, like, it's either Washington, Toronto, or Florida. I think it's just between Toronto and Florida. It's probably just Florida, actually. Even though Florida have been pretty good in 2020 and 2021. But they won a stage. Toronto's never even been close to a stage final. No, it's Toronto. I'm going back. It's 100% Toronto. Toronto have never even got close to a stage final. Like, what is the best result that Toronto has ever gotten on their listing? Yeah. Their best performance is they came 3rd to 4th in the Summer Showdown. That is the best they've ever done. This doesn't count because they came 3rd to 4th in play-ins. Like, this is really bad. Right? Like, you can compare that to, like, Florida Mayhem. I was trying to find if there was an easy way to see the Florida Mayhem. Like, Florida Mayhem have had they've got some dubs in there, right? They got a 3rd in the May Melee. They got a 4th in the NA playoffs. Like, they've won some money. Came 2nd in the 2020 Melee. It's definitely Toronto. Like, if you look at their earnings, right? Like, their earnings is like 150K, right? What's Toronto's earnings in the years? 45,000. They've only made $45,000 in prize money in their entire career. It has to be Defiant. Defiant is the least successful team in the history of Overwatch League. What about Justice? Really? You're gonna make me? I think Justice came 3rd. You got to remember, Justice came. This is actually so disrespectful. Look at how stupid this is, okay? Let me go on a massive tangent. Look at how stupid this is of the ruling that Decay can play. They finished 19th in the regular season and then came 3rd. Like, how is that allowed? There's so many stupid factors that resulted in that. The fact that they just allowed Decay to be signed to the Washington Justice at the end of the season. First of all, as much as it's like, oh, Decay got screwed by the Dallas Fuel, we should be pissed at Dallas Fuel. We should not just, like, that should never happen. And then on top of that was the massive playoff patch that they did in 2020, which I haven't talked about, of why 2020 was a shit season as well. It was a crazy big patch going into the 2020 playoffs, and it was really bad, and that's why we saw the Roadhog Zarya stuff. It literally just flew through the entire season onto its head. They literally just signed. Raw was one of the worst main tanks in the league. And they just allowed Decay to get signed, and then the meta perfectly lined up where they didn't need to play a main tank, and Decay could just play Zarya. Alright, that's my tangent. Thank you for coming.
And with their backs against the wall.
I mean, there was an attempt there. He got the better of Blase, to be fair, but
It doesn't matter though.
a little bit too late.
Yeah, if you're going for those kind of...
They almost beat the Shock. They did almost beat them.
Blase was just in the right place.
And screwed Philly, yeah.
Another ice wall from Dante, though. A little bit off to the side.
In the right
Boostio!
Another ice wall from Dante, though.
Wait, how does he even catch?
Just in the right place at the right time.
Oh, Jexay. Jexay was in his face as he threw it. Jexay's like, you know what? I don't need the team. He killed Jerry. Honestly, probably better for the Houston Outlaws. Net positive.
Kind of plays that are necessary. Earthshadow laid down. Dante hit the deck. He's still alive, though. Houston's still in control at this point.
Still in control, but with Mecca down there, means that they can't establish control of the high ground too.
Oh, good sleep.
Open Earthshadow here for Muma. Instead, he's going to opt for the charge. Muma, where you taking him? Off into no man's land, and he's pinned backwards.
I forgot this happened. I forgot this happened.
Can't establish control of the high ground too much.
Nice sleep.
There's a shatter. He has shatter. He can get a free shatter. He can pin him into this wall. He can do so many things. And he just takes him to Narnia. But then he doesn't get him off the edge. And then he gets pinned.
What have I witnessed? What am I seeing? Why? Truly living up to this battle of the ages between Boston Uprising and the Houston Outlaws.
Jex has got 3 kills in this fight. Somehow, some way, he's dragging the Houston Outlaws single-handedly back.
Colorhex froze him a little. I don't think he did. I don't think you can use that as a defense. I don't think he did. Like, or maybe a tiny amount. But do you think Muma had this perfectly lined up? Jexa kills 4, really? Alright, one sec, we'll watch it. I don't think he had a I don't think he knew the distance. Jexa kills Colorhex, kills Mufin. Jexa kills Jerry.
Jex has got 3 kills in this fight. Somehow, some way, he's dragging the Houston Outlaws.
Oh my god, Jexa is so good.
And nobody was able to touch the point. Happened at the end of that. I think Raucus is asking the rest of his team what's happening as well.
What team is the most tragic in the league? IMO, I'd say Philly, Spark, Titans, and Valiant. Tori, here's why I'm gonna say you haven't been watching the league for very long, because you just named 3 teams that have had a tragic 2021. Like that's very recently those teams have been bad. Philly was good for the first 3 years of the league, like very, very good for the first 3 years of the league. Like they have been like a top 4 team, top 5 team of almost every season. Don't want to call you out on that one, but that's true. Not GOATs, yeah, they weren't that good in GOATs, but like they are definitely not the most tragic team. And like Vancouver Titans were incredible in 2019 as well, so.
Wobble, wobble, motherfucker.
You don't know, thank you for the 5 months. Since Toronto entered the league, Houston has won 15k less than Toronto. Wait, really? Actually, I guess that's true. But hey, you got to give Houston the first season. You know, they've been here.
He was able to finish off Raucus just after this.
I mean,
oh, Jexe, stop it.
I mean, this is beautiful aggression.
This is nasty. I mean, nobody else was helping him.
Isn't Outlaws the only team to not win a tournament or finals match? Houston's won a finals match, right?
For the Houston Outlaws, if
Has Houston never won a playoff match? Even with how big the playoffs have been. Wow. That's crazy.
they get this map, they are staying in it. They are 1 round away.
They've never made a playoff? They did that one time. Well, they did in 2020 when they allowed everybody into the playoffs. They literally let everyone in. And I guess that they had, like, they made a couple of tournament, like stage tournaments in season 1, but I guess they didn't win any. Those play-ins, oh my god.
The bounce pad, if you will, Jerry now up, looking for opportunities here.
Oh, Blase, nice. Oh, nice build.
Like a clay pigeon.
Of course, both of these teams decide to fight on the jump pad, like 2 children slapping each other on trampolines.
Still, the Houston Outlaws have, I mean, it feels like they are getting the better edge of this one, but it is tough to say. It is chaos. Chaos in the battlements.
It really is. But now Houston have finally cemented a bit of control over this high ground. Still just riding on the jump pad, I think for the fun of it at this point. And Raucus has a Nana Boost. Nana Boost and a Deadeye coming out here. The Deadeye can force positioning, the Nana Boost plus an Ice Wall could very easily find the first pick. But they got to wait for Boston to get a little...
Alright.
A lot of win conditions now for Houston, but you can see Boston. They're staying out of the line of
I
sight.
feel like we've been here forever and we've only been here 2-8, and that's what makes this game so perfect. Is that it just feels like we've been here, you've been watching this match forever, but the 2 draws just make it impossible.
He's going to force him off with his boosters. Away from the high ground here. Blase just trying to build up this Deadeye now.
But the Nana Boost has already been used onto Muma just to save him, and it got no value whatsoever. And Boston have all of this boost has...
Away from a great peel from Muffin. He's going to force him off with his boosters. Away from the high ground here. Blase just trying to build up this Deadeye now.
But the Nana Boost has already been used onto Muma just to save him, and it got no value whatsoever. And Boston have all of this space for free!
Axiom, what are you doing, pal? The Earth Shatter gets nothing. Muma frozen, out of position, but Outlaws are the ones coming out on top. Nice counterpin from Muma. And Boston Uprising, I mean, I don't really know how to read that one, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's how you take a fight.
Axiom going for the instinctive shadow onto Dante. Thought he might
Plaza
be
hit
able to
shots
play
at
the
least in the
single
end,
pick
you
there.
know?
How he thought anyone was going to be able to follow up on it, I'm not 100% sure.
And maybe
But
this is
still.
the nerves coming into play when you get stretched out in a
Jexo going crazy. Yeah, Jexo went sicko mode.
Absolutely is. Map 5.
I've always thought Jexo was good. Ever since he was on the Houston Outlaws, I actually really like Jexo. I didn't really like Jexo. Was Jexo on Seoul? Who was on Jexo? Was Jexo on a team before Houston Outlaws? I want to say he was on Seoul, right? Yeah. I remember him being on Seoul and being like, he was fine. Didn't really expect much. So when he went to Houston, I wasn't expecting much. But I really liked him on Seoul and on I liked him on Houston and on Dallas.
Raucus doesn't find an opportunity to use the nano boost to save either Moomer or Blase there.
Ooh, okay, Jerry.
Came out from Houston. They found absolutely nothing from it.
Yeah, this is nicely done there by Boston. They utilizing the ultimates correctly, playing aggressively.
Didn't Jexo like to do it? Yeah, Jexo was always really nice to me. I like Jexo.
Quite literally, Boston on the high ground here. Gonna have to try and win a team fight out from under them.
Yeah, I think Houston want to rotate around the back, come in through archway, and make a slow, steady progression onto the point. Then once Boston drop down, try and find value out of the blizzard. So they're coming back around archway now and coming forward slowly onto the
Is there
point.
Jerry signed to a team for this season? No.
Rotating around, trying to force them down here. They do eventually drop down. Deadeye, Moomer, caught out of position. Can anyone save him? The speedy cowboy off to the side.
Nice job by Meko.
The defense matrix was there.
That was a really good job by Meko. Oh, big shatter by Axiom.
Earth Shatter connected onto 3. Nano boost, fire strike.
Axiom diff?
Leave down Houston.
While Jexo is alive, it's not over.
Houston's win. Just put nipped in the bud there by Axiom.
Huge play from the
They tied on Blizzard World and Temple of Anubis.
He recognized it. Moomer wasn't going to be able to block it. He's swinging away. Instinctive.
Catches onto Raucus and Blase, but also Moomer, so that you can go for that without any fear whatsoever. But Houston can still win this one. Moomer could reply back with one just as good, and a 3-man Bionade is going to force the tank line for Boston backwards.
Here we go.
Boston feeling the
Oh, nice dink at the end.
from Blase. Nails it out.
Well, like, why didn't he shoot? Like, someone tell me why he didn't shoot. As soon as the Matrix ends, boom, shoot.
Muffin tries to eat it up.
At least go for it, better than what he just did.
Shatter from Moomer. Doesn't really get anything. They've recapped over the point though. The overtime now going to be started burning. And here it is. Boston forced to try.
He's flicking instead. He aims, as I said, he aims like me. Just a very inconsistent way of aiming.
A lot of damage now removed. And Meko's off angles have been brutal for Boston.
Oh god, he missed the timing.
The Outlaws are so close to taking this map. So close to ending the unfortunate streak.
Oh god, he's so good. Dude, Myeonbong is trying his hardest to win this game.
And Nanabusi moving into
Oh.
the back. But Houston Outlaws have won their first map of 2020, and they stay alive in this series.
Wow.
Wait, that was the first map the Houston Outlaws won in 2020? Wait, did we just play Control until the end?
Boston Uprising are no
I don't remember that. I thought we played another Escort.
sweeps of their own. They've had reverse sweeps.
I thought there was an Escort mixed in. Alright guys, strap in.
Most out of any team in the Overwatch League. And as it looks now, sure, they're not quite on the verge of it, but I can feel it. I can feel it, right in your bones.
Lucio Bap, Raucus Bap. Yo. Guys, hear me out. They worked out that maybe they shouldn't switch players. Raucus is in. Raucus plays the Bap. Let's go, Raucus.
Execute well on Nepal. They are looking good.
Listen to Brennan Josh for this one. All right, let's turn Brennan Josh up so we can remember them. All right, Rourke's on the Bap. I like the Bap.
Change of scenery.
Jerry's gonna play the Reaper.
Houston Outlaws going to be opting for
Sim.
the main tank.
Someone explain to me why they go this way. Why would you go this way? Like you are guaranteed positioning if you go left. Faster? Well, sure of a hell of a lot faster for your teammates to get fucking massacred.
Look at this, Dante caught out of position. So low, but appeal is there.
Oh my god, I can't believe they didn't lose anyone for that.
Immortality Field used very early, and now when Boston Uprising gets speed boost again, they can go in super aggro.
Uh-oh, Boston are knocking at the door. It's going to be the one-for-one trade. It's still winnable for them, but it is chaos on the point. The backline's being assaulted. It seems like Houston are winning this one.
Where are you going?
Going, Axiom?
Where are you going?
It's taking him for a swim. I don't even know if there's water on the other side of the pole. Probably just more mountains.
Just more mountains.
Bro, what are these Reinhardts doing? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Are we like literally they're just seeing who can pin off cooldown better?
To outdo each other with the most ridiculous pins you've ever seen. In terms of the compositions, though, Houston Outlaws playing.
Jexay had 75% of his fletter deadlift in that game.
For Blase to generate charge and get value out of the Symmetra. The Boston Uprising just want to.
Reinhardt, Orisa, dude, they're just trying to tank it up on the point.
TP down to the low ground.
I don't hate the strategy. I don't hate it. They're just bunkering on the point. It's a good strategy.
Drop down to the low ground. Jerry frozen up. Luckily on the high ground, nobody could take him
This
out.
should be almost impossible for Axiom to get a good shout out.
As well to see if he could drop into the squishies of
Well, good pull, fire strike.
But he found absolutely nothing.
Boston had to use that ice wall defensively here.
All right, Boston, what are we doing here?
Try and push into when Houston Outlaws have control of it.
And a really nice teleporter from Blase as well. It's a small teleporter, but it gets big value.
Off onto the side here now. Weapon frozen up. The pins were exchanged. Now we're going to see.
I don't know what happened, but they both used Shatter and nobody died.
Huge barrier.
Dante?
Up, blocking up a lot of the damage along with the blizzard.
I feel like Dante keeps getting isolated a little bit. He's playing aggressive.
Matrix as well to kind of push people away and allow.
Oh yeah, look at how small this thing is. What is this, a fucking Baptiste window for ants? Like what how am I supposed to shoot through this thing? It's like tiny.
Oh,
nice wall.
Really nice ice wall. Really nice ice wall from Dante, but Boston answer back with one of their own. Unable to really try and get onto this point. They're going to be committing the soundbite now towards this. Seeing if they can get these picks. Finally they open up. Rorks goes down. This Echo with the supercharger. It's huge. The damage is enormous.
This could certainly still turn, but with Numa going down and then
Huge.
Let me put in context how stupid this pin is. Like,
The damage is enormous.
it's 6v4. Your team is up. You have point control. The opposition needs to come to you. If he pins and like misses, he could easily get frozen, die, and there's a chance that it turns around. Obviously very unlikely, but the only way they lose that is if he pins and misses. These guys are just off the goop. So you're telling us there's a chance? Oh my god.
And the Diva for Mecca. Now they've got a bit of a counter composition to Boston. They can play a little bit more safe, maneuver around the map a bit. But Color X's Blizzard, you would expect to find big value in the next fight.
We'll see if Mecco can eat it here.
Do you guys hear how loud that death comes were? We were talking about that on stream recently about how...
Gets brought down immediately.
What is this Axiom Shatter?
Blizzard comes up. Cancel.
Okay.
Collex gets brought down immediately. Got no value out of it. Outlaws using their soundbite to really push forward here.
Great opportunity for the Houston Outlaws. They take control of the high ground. Myunbong falls.
They're back on the point.
There is
Blase
no way
back to
Boston
Cassie. Don't worry.
can contest
Blase's
this.
back on
They'll have
Doom.
17 seconds to try and get back onto the point. Otherwise, all
Blase Doom.
lost.
Smiley face. Blase McCree. Sorry, Cassidy.
As well.
Sad
This
face.
is so crucial. And Blase looked so much more comfortable on the Doomfist than he
Blase
did.
Doom is he's great at Doom. Like, you can't, like, he was one of the best Dooms at the time.
But now they have control of the point. Boston forced to touch, forced to engage. Huge bio Nate though.
That's
Back to
actually
Blase.
enormous.
The
Oh.
rocket punch comes out. The damage is enormous. Still Boston in the fight. We see the Blizzards being exchanged.
Blase, I'm gonna need you to do something. I got Axiom. Oh? You heard me talking shit?
With eliminations of their own. Massive
Blase heard me talking shit. Yo, there we go, Blase. That was clean.
Blase is just in the
Maybe this is why I'm terrible at Doomfist. Myanmar?
He does eventually go down. It's just got a fall here. Pilot moving on the point.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be Outlaws. Josh, I'm lightheaded.
I'm losing my
For a
mind.
variety of reasons. Maybe I just try and go too much.
Phenomenal.
I don't understand what I'm witnessing. The Houston Outlaws, it's like they've evolved. They are learning to play Overwatch before our very eyes. And they are looking so much more coordinated.
They're learning how to play Overwatch before our very eyes.
The match where they believe in themselves. Swing the other.
All right, let's go.
No, he does swap. Blase, we're expecting to swap as well. We'll see if he stays on it. Yep, he absolutely does.
All right, they're gonna play the sim again. I don't like the sim on this map at all.
It's gonna be clashing.
I feel like it's very hard to sort of anchor yourself like it is on like a map like Village.
It's much larger angle.
Sim is crazy here. Very unique situation. Sim goes crazy here.
The Outlaws have anything up their sleeve.
But like Boston, like here's what's wrong with Boston, Houston's comp, right? If Boston just rotate over here and come over here and go to point, they don't really have the damage compared to having the machine gun Cassidy. As long as Boston is smart enough to not engage into the turrets, they're in a good spot. All right, they TP to point. Oh God, movement.
Oh, frozen! Movement was frozen and landed into the pit. A huge first pick for Houston.
Very unfortunate. Another big Bionade from Raucus as well. Actually forced to play a little bit more passive.
Oh, it shouldn't work, yeah. Like, literally, Boston could have given up the point there and just played far away, and they probably just win. Like, they literally, yeah, like... Though I feel like the only way Houston's comp gets value is if the opposition decides to try and run into them.
Nanabu's unloaded. The ice wall has pushed Muma into the clutches of the Boston Uprising.
He's gonna pin.
Can he get any value out of it?
Like, yeah, like, Houston are playing Symmetra and they engage first. Like, how are you expecting to win if you are engaging first when you don't have enough damage? Like, you're just assuming that Muma's gonna be able to kill everyone. Oh, nice. Number's actually going nasty.
A little bit of time off of it. We'll see if Blase opts the switch. He's very close to his ultimate. He might decide to stick.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go to the Cassie, yeah. So maybe they only want to play Sim for the first fight. Like, I can get behind that. Like, I can get behind just playing Sim for the first fight if that was their reasoning. But I don't like it outside of that. Myeonbong, good player. I don't know if you guys have seen my Plat Chat episode where I said Myeonbong is overrated. I think Myeonbong is not as good as the... And I like double down on it here. Like, I don't think Myeonbong is as good as people hype him up to be in comparison to other teams. Like, obviously he was good on Boston and he played good in this match, but like, I feel like he gets a lot of credit for doing good things in bad matches and against bad teams. I think he is very average. Like, I don't think he's a bad player for the NYXL, but I think Gangnam Jin is better. And I think that he is not, like, this double flex support is not the best double flex support, like, combo in the league. Never saw him do anything terrible. Yeah, but, like... Who's better, Myeonbong or Lastro? Lastro. In my opinion, definitely Lastro. Even Gangnam Jin, yeah, like, both are fine, right? Like, I don't have a problem with either of those players, and I think they're good signings for NYXL. I hope they don't go into the season only playing Myeonbong and Gangnam Jin. I feel like a lot of people like put him on the same caliber as, like, you know, some of the best flex supports in the league. Like, oh, he's just as good as Violet. Like, I hear that shit sometimes and I'm like, oh, whoa. Let's calm down.
Mecho's self-destruct is going to be buying a bit of time here. Dante, you are in a very precarious position, Sunshine. Jerry can't be saved. He tried to duck his head around, but the headshot, Dante found it. Buying a little bit more time. Still, the Boston Uprising going to be recapping.
So even between these two teams on Sanctum.
Well, Violet is a DPS. You shut it right now, Patrick. You shut that shit down.
And Houston are going to stick on this May McCree strategy. That hasn't really worked out so great for them. Not really close to any ultimates either. I am a little worried here for the Houston Outlaws. I don't really see a way in which they get back in. Boston Uprising have got the entire ult advantage.
The casters used to hype up Jerry so much just because of this game. Literally, the only reason everyone hyped him up is just because of this one game and how well Jerry played.
Trying to find anybody out of position.
See these players trying to rely on a lot of their mechanical skill. Houston Outlaws have control of the point. Deadeye is trying to rely on a lot of their mechanical skill.
Dude, this is a ranked game. I'm sold. Jexe is literally doing the Reddit play. Oh my god, Jexe gets him.
Manages to boot off Axiom, but at what cost? Trading 1 for 1. Blase!
Ooh!
He tried to go for the
Oh, and he cancelled the mail.
Can't be stopped. He's a machine. An absolute monster on the high ground. Unleashing lead. He is.
Ooh, okay, Jerry. Jerry!
To the double RY. This guy, so good. The crowd's chanting his name, and what a name it is.
Can anyone even
Jerry, Jerry, Jerry.
So low.
Oh, Jack safe head.
Dante has to switch over to the Doomfist. Instantly taken out.
Goodbye, Muma.
Looking even more precarious now. Muma frozen in position. The Nanabu.
He's frozen for so.
Jerry more precarious.
Look at Muma. He gets frozen and then he just doesn't move.
More precarious now. Muma frozen in position. The Nanabu's not getting any value. Jerry takes him out with the dead eye.
Oh, Overwatch, baby. Isn't that fun?
Very good position to win this one out. Despite the Houston Outlaws trying to trickle onto the point.
Delete May freeze. Well, they've already talked about they're getting rid of it. Or they're getting rid of CC in Overwatch 2. So hopefully we have less of these instances.
For Outlaws to get back in here, and the ultimate, and the way in which Boston rotated around the map proves too good. 1-1. Boston get their first taste of victory on these final control maps.
Look at this Chad.
Map point. Houston Outlaws are clinging on to just a single thread of hope.
All right, let's go, baby. Almost there.
Between going away with a loss or potentially
Not from Blizzard. I'm not sure. I have no exact idea of what is coming and what is going. I just know that they're removing CC. I have heard, and I remember that they said they're changing May in some capacity. But as I said, I don't think you can remove it from the ult.
To start up.
reaction time to there.
Wow, that was a crutch shot of the Diva Mech right there, right into there.
See the positioning by Boston here, like very far forward. To the point. Ice off angle here by Dante, just trying to get the damage in here. The ice wall is there as well. We'll see if they can counteract.
I just love it. Muma's like, I'm getting frozen. May as well pin.
We'll see if they can counteract it. Muma goes for the charge. Moves back. No value for Axiom, but Muma.
Axiom also goes for the pin.
Both sides losing their main tanks.
Weaker players though for the Boston Uprising, and they don't have the greatest
Wobble,
position.
wobble, motherfucker.
Not bad. Thank you for the 51 months. Much love.
Houston Outlaws still looking good for this, and they do take the first cap.
How are they not hitting pins? Because both of them are going for stupid pins. I feel like they're both going for those like crazy fight-changing pins, but like if they just played safer, I feel like they would just be more successful.
Slowly improving throughout the series.
Health below 30%. Must pin, I guess.
The stragglers at the end of these team fights and just extend things out a little bit. 20% already, and Boston haven't been able to get a foothold in just yet. They got snarled up a lot when they came around the left-hand side, but they're going to do it again. They're playing into a blizzard, playing into a sound barrier. We might see Houston just go really aggressive to find Buckin's defense matrix offline.
The NYXL is talking crap.
Get free value, but there we have it, the blizzard by Dante. Connect on 21. Boston, they disengage. Axiom actually got caught out by the freeze.
Good disengage by Boston.
He wants to force them back. A defensive ice wall. Soundbarrier going to be used in response.
I don't know if I agree with that beat by Swimmer. Why did Swimmer beat?
Defensive ice wall. Soundbarrier going to be used in response here by Boston. But it only gets them onto the point. Boomer chunked down and out. Soundbarrier
rolled. He's just a better player.
Strategy. It doesn't matter if it's gold,
Moving gets pinned.
Silver, it still works in the end. Boston though finding openings. They capitalize, jumping onto the back line, but it looks like Houston have gained control. You can pick up a couple of these players.
Oh god, it's all falling apart for Boston. Ethan aside, thank you for the 2 months.
Sending this series out.
How many pins do you think were in this match? Too many. I feel like everyone's just trying to be bumper in a way, you know? Jexay legit deadly. Jexay's just putting on a clinic. Like we meme about like Yunbong and we talk about Jerry, but Jexay is the real carry of this match.
A D-Mech onto Meko perhaps, who's just scouting them all the way up to the top here.
Meko trying to boot them away.
I don't really know.
They back off. Both Reinhardts with the shadow. Could be pivotal.
Jumping on his off angles. Now
Drop the. Oh, I would have dropped the ass for the drop the wall shatter, and I would have died.
Wick is burning. The shadow from
You can't widen out like that. Oh! Yeah, like, that was on Moomy. You can't widen out like that. He literally was looking for his own shadow to the point that he just exposed his entire team.
Blase wants to nip it in the bud. He wants it to go to map 7. Taken out by Color Hex though. Boston are not going to go down that easily. They are struggling to keep into this fight. But it is a brutal one at that swimmer. Dragging his team, kicking and screaming. Moomer in the backline.
Are they really going to be able to turn this?
Raucous and Moomer?
But those kills, the backline of the Boston Uprising being dead, it's brutal for them. As soon as Houston get an opportunity to come in, all of this damage is permanent.
The fight continues.
Well, that was a gamble. I like it though. Oh, Carl Hex loses his ult.
He's on the Doomfist, taken out.
Oh, nice wall.
He's caught out of position.
Okay.
The Nano Boost has to keep him alive. But this could be it, Josh. Only a few moments now. Jerry taken down. Houston Outlaws just need those few crucial moments.
Oof. Let's go, Dante. Big play.
To touch Color Hex, just about manages it. Axiom looks like he's given up.
Woo! Here we go. 2-2, baby. Map 7, 2-2.
What a turnaround. What a
You know what time it is, chat? They've won the last 2 maps. They're playing well in control. They're firing on all cylinders. Houston Outlaws have finally worked it out. You know what time it is? Time for Repel to get subbed in for Raucous. It's time, baby. Let's go. Time to flip the coin. Repel's in. I can't see how this can cause any rift in the team. Let's go, Repel. Don't worry, Repel's gonna play Baptiste.
We'll find out just how far it
Go on,
truly
Rome, take
goes.
the 15
Will we
months.
witness history today, or will it be stopped in its tracks?
It's 2 words. Lijiang Tower,
The Boston
Repel.
Uprising versus the Houston Outlaws.
2-word maps, baby. Alright, we got Ryan Brawl with the Sim Orisa stuff that they did on Village and the regular Brawl from Boston. I feel like if Houston is gonna play this comp, they need to go to point. Like, they shouldn't be playing on this pillar. They should be going to point. Or, you know, teleport behind them. That works too, I guess.
Being used here now, the immortality field destroyed. Not quite
Like,
yet.
look at the ult charge of Jerry versus Blase. Jerry has double the damage. Like, Cassidy is just better in this situation unless you're going to play in a defensive zone where the Sim can put turrets up and start getting charge up and, like, holding corners and stuff like that. Like, it makes no sense why they would not go to the point. And Repel drops the window in a losing fight. With Moomer down and their entire team purple, Repel makes a mistake.
on even terms.
Would Raucous have made that mistake?
You couldn't.
Don't know.
Because Houston was so fast coming out of the spawn with their teleporter, with their speed boost. And now Houston have been forced to make swaps. The McCree comes back out for Blase, the Diva for Meko. Boston are so far ahead in terms of the ult game.
My Overwatch World Champion would never. Maybe want to swap, maybe, then. But it just doesn't seem good, right? Like.
Boston use a couple of these ultimates now. They get a pick off, that will do it. Axiom,
Oh!
the Shadow cuts laid down. Nanoboost laid on.
Another
That's
Shadow
so
goes
much
through.
damage. The Shadow use a couple of these ultimates now. They get a pick off, that will do it. Axiom,
Good Shadow by
cuts
Axiom.
laid down. Nanoboost laid on. That's so much damage. 2 kills for him.
Whoa! Okay. Oh, gives him the bag. Woo.
And Houston still behind in the ult game, even after that fight loss just then.
A good bag, clean.
Good start to this fight.
Nice and tight form, not too many bags. Point got across.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Position he's in. He wants to try and get a nice ice wall off, but the rotation is called.
Yeah, the Houston Outlaws are
Oh, smart. Oh, actually, they're too slow on this. Is Jet or Swimmer should have gone for it. I would have gone for it.
Try and squeeze their way into Jerry now using the Deadeye.
I would have gone straight for that bridge to get a boot.
Open tries to force the positioning with his boosters. Doesn't get it off. Now both teams have a blizzard available to them. And see how they try and utilize it.
Oh, that's a good ult. Oh, good eat by Meko as well. That was big plays by Dante and Meko.
Boomer is the one to clean up a lot of the eliminations.
Fantastic play.
To recap.
I like the idea by Boston to hide in the white room. I feel like they didn't adapt well at all to that.
Series hasn't made that many game-altering plays, but that one is completely game-altering. Eats up the Blizzard coming out from Color Hex, and Houston Outlaws are now in control of the fight. They absolutely had to win that fight.
Dante trying to get a bit of spam damage in off the side on the flank. Boston look like they're opting to try and take this over the bridge to self-destruct. The ice wall's going to be used defensively onto both sides, trying to catch these players out of position to charge.
Oh,
that's aggressive.
Jack say, baby.
That is what you want to
That's
see
the
if you're a
play.
Houston fan. Blase with a hell of a repel. The Deadeye is going to win them this fight.
Are just way too obvious, I feel. If they come in over the bridge there, the Houston Outlaws still have their speed boost. You haven't forced out any cooldowns. They just retreat, play behind shield and the ice wall. Look at this Deadeye though, coming out from Blase. He hides, avoids the self-destruct, and then finds a perfect opportunity with Dante's ice wall.
That's a great Deadeye.
It was a fantastic Bionate from Repel as well.
Now in the meantime, this fight has already begun.
Still kicking off at the point. You can see both the teams, the charges, going to be exchanged. They're both on the deck. Meko
Oh, wow.
self-destruct.
That was a good surprise Axiom lived through that.
2 kills, but is it going to be enough? Boston are easily answering back. Jerry, there's no one to take care of.
Okay, I'm not a Reinhardt specialist, right? But if you see the Reinhardt pin, why doesn't he just press Q? Like, what's wrong with Q here? Like, I feel if he presses Q here, that I guess his team is dead. So it is the right call to not do it. But actually, it's the final fight. No, I think you shatter. I think you got to shatter there. I think you got to shatter that. Like, I think you just go for it. If he gets like 2 kills off of that shatter, it's valid.
Looks like Meko will be able to.
He just about squeaks in there. They've got the potential
Oh,
to be
wow.
able to clutch this. The sleep.
It might have actually been the play to hold the shot. Okay.
The ice wall.
They're walling. I was like, why is Mover just waiting over there?
Still doable for
Oh, goody.
now by Dante, but against 8. Muffin with a clutch play. Axiom charging in the midst of it. It's not going to get the value he's looking for. The Boston Uprising going to take round number 1 in map 7.
And move first round. Entertaining Overwatch like this, it's all worth it in the end.
It's a brawl.
Lijiang Tower, though, is where this series is going to end. There's no ifs or buts about it. And so far, Boston Uprising in the lead. A lot comes down
Oh,
to
the
this
Sim
fight.
TP to point. All right, this is the time to play Sim. This now we're talking.
Point presence.
This is how you play it, right? You just bunker up on the point.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
But this time, Meko is on the Diva instead of on the Orisa. So they're going for the normal strategy, but with Blase on the
Oh, good play. You see that smart play by Boston now?
Instead of on the Orisa.
They speed in. Axiom goes to the right, but the rest of the other team goes in from the other door. So they're gonna wall off, but then the rest of the team goes around the other wall, and then Axiom just links back up with his team. Like that's a smart play to get through the wall.
Blase just having to back off here.
It's almost impossible to run into a Sim here, though. So
No one's going to be able to eat up a lot of these orbs coming in.
I like this adaptation from Houston. No longer running with the Batiste, no longer running with the Orisa. That means that even if they had lost that fight, they would continue to accrue the nano boost charge and the self-destruct as well. And Houston have
play
been
Pharah.
pretty good so far.
The problem with Pharah against this comp is Pharah is very inconsistent. Like, you'll win over time, but if you switch to Pharah Mercy here, they get to about, even if you win the fight straight off the bat, they get to about 75% before you even get to, and then they can just switch to a comp that deals with Pharah. And then, there's so many things that can go wrong with the Pharah Mercy comps. Oh, wow. Oh!
You want to see? Okay. Bye-bye.
Swimmer.
There it is, baby.
With the 3K. Dante managed to avoid the initial boop that would have put him in the highlight reel.
That was a smart play by Boston. They just went way faster than them.
Wobble, wobble, motherfucker.
Nakira, thank you for the 46 months. Almost to 4 years, yo.
And Blase's made the swap
Why are
back
Lucio's
over
best part of the
It's
matches?
just
Because
their
they're
answer
gamers.
if the Symmetra strat doesn't work out.
Oh! Oh, no.
No. That's not what you want to see at all. Could not defend against the Deadeye.
And a beautiful little play from Yunbong. Knows that they have to drop the shield just as they fall down from the high ground. Times it perfectly to sleep Muma and set up for a very easy pick for his McCree.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, Myunbong.
And now even and starting to get further.
Where's the DM? They mistimed it. It's a hard thing to time because as soon as you start doing it,
Oh, it's a fake out.
It's a fake around.
Good play. That was smart. Oh, wow. That was a yeet.
Not teammate just yet, but finally taken out. And we see now the Blizzard going to be.
Oh, the good counter mailed by Color Hex.
Great opportunity for
Might not be enough though. Great play by Dante. Smart play. They fake it, get the wall off from the Diva, freeze the Diva, and yeet the mail.
Beautiful little fake out right at the beginning. That set everything up. The Houston Outlaws look like they're going all the way around the back to the coast, and instead take just a moment and then speed boosting engage through the front, walling off Mufin for that first.
Will this be on YouTube tomorrow morning?
First easy DMEC rather.
/ afternoon.
Allows Dante to get a free Blizzard. The neurons are firing faster than ever before for the Houston Outlaws.
They're trying to do it right now. You see, overlapping the support hosts, the Nanoboos and the sound barrier. A couple of them slept on the deck. Self-destruct in the back is going to get no value. This time you see Outlaws using their own. Axiom so low. Trying to hide
oh, there you go. Might have been too many ults there from Houston.
To hit a very large Earth Shatter. 70% and counting now for the Houston Outlaws.
And they're in a great position to tie up Li Jiang, send us to the
Why pin? Don't worry. Don't worry, Liz. It's fine.
Of this series, but they need to hold on for one more team fight. They have the Nano Boost to be able to work with. It could be enough.
Other than Blase and Moom, I think so as well. I think if they had a good hit scan and their Reinhardt was playing well, this team wasn't actually that bad.
Jerry with the deadeye. They need to eat this one
Oh, good pin.
Boomer taken out. Dante has to use his ice wall defensively. Now the Outlaws.
I will say, Boston are doing a very good job of punishing Moomer.
He's feeling himself. Point.
Jerry
finding the shots. He's heating up. He's feeling himself. Jexa so lost.
If he did that just to break the railing, he's a genius. But I think he just like panicked thinking the Lucio was coming to him.
And they'll lock it up on the final map of Li Jiang. A Blizzard is going to be available for both teams. Clutch potential for Axiom as well. With
Chad rail break. If you're as good a player as Jerry, you don't need your flashbang. You just click on him.
With a May wall could be beautiful, but can you really run the same strat twice?
Oh, good block. Oh, that's good play. That's good play.
And that kind of speed, that kind of aggression.
Just group up on the point.
5 seconds remaining. Can anyone from the Outlaws touch this one?
Jexa is in position. He's going to be able to get the touch. He forces out the overtime, but everybody else from Houston is so far away. The boom coming out from Swimmer as well.
There it is. The toilet bowl is over.
In map 7, stealing away the hopes and dreams of the Houston Outlaw.
Look at this game. 3, 2, and 7 maps.
You can see it all from Muffin's face, what it meant to them. It's his first time on stage, and
Boston fans.
It's going to be a disaster for Boston. The reverse sweep Kings about to get reverse swept, but it was not meant to be. Dante couldn't quite power the Houston Outlaws to that kind of performance, and there's Jerry.
Jerry.
So both in game and out.
He won over this crowd as he shuffles away for the handshakes.
Oh, God.
Respect to his former teammates as well. They couldn't quite get it done there. So close to a beautiful birthday present for Dante, for Blase, sorry. Well, they fall incredibly close, so short.
The reason for Repel Raucous swapping is public. If I remember correctly of why they were switching is because they had practiced certain maps. If I remember correctly, like that was how they came up, is that they on certain players would play certain maps in practice, and it just so happened to be that it created this interweaving of the players. It's a bad idea. The same thing happened to me when I only played on Control in the stage 1 of when Valiant went 0-7. Like I played a couple of maps in that 0-7 at the beginning of GOATS. People should not play for just a specific map because they practice this map. If you're not changing heroes and you're not changing strategies, putting players in as like map specialists is a bad idea. It's just a bad strategy, and you got to live with that decision. I don't think that is a justification for what happened. Repel had bad English but good mechanics, so they only put him on maps without flank routes, so he didn't have to call for peel, right? Like it's just like it doesn't make sense. You're overthinking it. You're playing 9D chess with yourself, right? Like at that point, it ain't that deep. just play the 6 players that are going to be the best at that composition. Do you ever play with Dante? Only for like a week on Arc 6 on a team with Space, Dante, and XQC. Which was a good time. That's it. That's the bread bowl, chat. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. If you guys missed it, if you're reliving it, I'm sorry. But it's such a symbolic match because of so many things came out of it. Like the Muma career, like as we said, I don't think Muma played another match after that one. Blase McCree, Jerry on the McCree, Myumbong on the Anna. Just the whole spaghetti action that was. It was a classic. It was a classic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, as I said at the beginning of the video, remember these are all great players. As much as it looked bad, this was a weird time for both of these teams. So you got to feel bad for them. It always sucks when you have to be a part of these matches because you just want to win and you don't want to go down like that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff on the YouTube. We're almost at 20k YouTube followers. We just hit 100k Twitch followers. Sport's been insane. We got a bunch of more matches. We got to do a history of Overwatch before the league starts in 2022. So we're just trying to rush through some of these matches. This VOD will be uploaded tomorrow morning for anyone in Twitch who wants to watch it again. Love you all. Peace out, and I will see you guys next time.